Hello, hello. Zlatato Ditase asks, what is Scarlet Hollow about? It's about you have gone back to the town your mother was born in to attend your aunt's funeral, and you get caught up in some kind of a supernatural conspiracy. How am I today? I'm okay. Yeah, I finally got some sleep. I haven't been sleeping so well because insomnia is one of the side effects of the antibiotics they gave me for my cat bite. But I think I'm good now. Audio sounds good. I think it's all the same settings as before. Yeah, my cat bit me. I was asleep and I just sensed something and I opened my eyes and she was giving me a crazy look and then she bit me. Almost pronounced a whole ass Romanian name too. Props. I gave it a go, but I don't even speak English right. It'd sound funny in any language. Why did Grub betray me? Because she's a cat. She's not. They're not good at regulating their emotions. They have poor social skills. She's not very spicy. She's usually pretty sweet. It's just sometimes she just, the devil takes hold of her and she behaves in an unladylike manner. Alright, so we stopped after day one. I'll load up at the beginning of the day, I think. Where were we? There's too much days. What are Grub's Scarlet Hollow traits? I think Grub has, she has mystical because she's always, like, chasing ghosts. She sees things that I do not see. I guess she also has talks to animals because she's a cat. So we stayed over at Stella's house. We're not doing the Stella romance, but it was just a funny thing to do. How are you so chipper? You shouldn't be okay right now. So last night, if you didn't see the first stream, we encountered some strange creatures in the woods, and Stella's dog got by them. And Stella's response to all of this is to just over-compartmentalize and pretend like things aren't wrong. Am I coming off as chipper? Yikes. I guess I'm just used to compartmentalizing things. And we have something important to focus on right now. I'll have time to process what happened last night when we get to the bottom of what happened in the woods. So our plan is to go down to the library and try to learn about the town and see if we can figure out anything about these creatures we saw. Alright, boss, what's the game plan? First things first, I was planning on swinging by the library. Kanika's got a head start on us. It looks like she's already there. Oh, that reminds me. Let's set up a group chat. What's your number? You and Stella exchange numbers. Stella is great. I love Stella. I think, I've talked about this on the other streams. There's been a lot of people who are reacting very poorly to Stella in ways that I think betray It reminds me a lot of the ways that people react to Wendy in The Shining. And if you've seen The Shining, you know that Wendy is not a perfect person. She's not, in staying in her relationship with Jack, she's putting their child in danger. But the core of the problem is Jack. It's not, it's not Wendy. But people always want to come down on her like a hammer, you know? Aw. Is it gonna do the voice?
You are cool.
There it is. Thank you, myarm6633. So, yeah, I know. I use a free tax service that is not TurboTax. It's not that bad. It's just when you're self-employed, especially if you have a lot of revenue streams, it's a lot of paperwork. And even if you have someone who will help you with it, or like a service that streamlines it, it's still just a very time-consuming process. Also, with self-employment, you don't pay out ahead of time. I mean, you do, but like you're just guessing. So you often on tax day will get hit with like a big unexpected tax bill, and it's just a big stressor. So. But yeah, so Stella is not a perfect person, but she's been through hell and she's doing pretty well, and her intentions aren't bad, and I don't think that her behavior is really all that out of line. So I will say that, like, I think there is some misogyny at play, and I don't mean that people are these like female-hating he-men coming in and being like, ugh, stupid women. No, I think it's just like, it's best to think of stuff like that, of like misogyny and racism and that sort of thing. It's best to think of it as like radiation. And no matter how much you try to keep on top of yourself and pay attention to the world around you, if you live on top of a nuclear waste dump, you're still going to get some background radiation. And so, you know, nobody's free of this stuff. So I think that's a part of it, but I think also it's kind of like what I said in the video, where I think there's a discomfort with people having agency in certain cases, and I think that definitely goes double for women, but it's not just for female characters. And that's my soapbox moment for the day. And also, I've noticed people like projecting onto these characters and onto the main character a lot, which is kind of natural when you're doing a story about generational trauma. But, you know, to that I would say, like, if you find you're doing that, or if you see somebody doing that, it's an invitation to consider how your outlook on the world might not be perfect, or maybe these characters are speaking to you in a way that you can sort of use as an opportunity to consider how your worldview works. It's a good game. It's good writing. Hopefully we can find out more about ditchlings from some of the older local books there. I've also got a couple of threads cooking up on my cryptid forums, but who knows if that'll pan out. Caster says, my main issue with her is that she was so much when I first played, but I warmed up massively to her as I played. Me too, yeah. So she's very forward. She's very insistent on being friends, which at first felt to me like, oh, the devs really want me to like this character, you know, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I was seeing like a meta level. That's not what's happening. The character wants you to like her because she knows that you're cousins with her ex. Anyway, daylight's burning, so let's roll out as soon as you finish getting dressed. We have the hot trait, so she's, sure. The walk to town was short. Stella's house is barely a stone's throw from what remains of Scarlet Hollow's once bustling main street. You shudder as you stare down the thoroughfare, both from the chill in the morning air and the all-too-present memories of everything you witnessed last night. You see that building labeled Town Hall? That's actually the library. Well, it's also the town hall, but that's just a small upstairs office nowadays. I guess this town's not what it used to be. Oh, hey! Morning, Stella. And same to you, Mint. Speak of the devil, we were just talking about you. Coming from Stella's, huh? Did y'all have a slumber party? Sorry, y'all. I'm actually in a bit of a rush this morning. I can't really stop to chat. It'll take me a bit to set up, so if you want to catch up with folks or grab something at the diner, you can meet me at the library when you're done. Oh sure, see you in a bit, Stella. Cool, see you soon. So if you don't... I'll get to the next couple lines first. Huh, she always has time to chat. And I don't think I've ever seen her without Gretchen. Did something happen last night? Oh, Stella and Mint just got up to a bit of trouble, that's all. It's not my place to share. Well, it's your place to share, right, Mint? So, if you lie, or if you do anything other than tell Avery the whole truth here, they are not, like, really in the rest of the game. And, Avery's whole thing is they're an outsider. They have no, like, roots down here. So, you have to, like, actively pull them into the story for them to take part in, like, the first several days, which is cool, but, like, there doesn't seem to be any opportunity cost here. If you... Like, it doesn't change anything other than just Avery's not there. And I wonder if they'll ever go back and change something there. Because usually with stuff like that, they try to split the... Unless I'm wrong. Sam Walters says, I had the opposite trajectory. I really liked Stella at first, but as I saw episode 4, Roads Untraveled, and episode 5, I've come to the conclusion that Wayne is right about her. I think that Wayne does not lie. I think he's... that doesn't mean he's not manipulating you. I think all of the big 3 characters are. But I think from Wayne's perspective, whatever Stella's going to wind up doing is going to work against the thing that he wants. And I also think that maybe from his perspective, the thing that he wants is something you should want too. I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's like, you know, do you know what I mean? So like, I think there's going to be an ending where you find out that like, I just don't think Wayne's going to be like just plain evil or anything. What he wants might be something kind of alien to what a person would want, and it might be a fate that you're not, that some people wouldn't be too happy with. But I think it's, I don't know. It's hard to read. Big Wayne investor, yeah. So yeah, there's no opportunity cost. You should always just tell Avery the truth here. I think they should add something. I wonder if they will, where it's like if Avery's not around, something else can happen. But I also think that like, well, I don't want to spoil too much, but I don't think that any of the characters are acting in like bad faith or like everybody is doing what they think is best for everybody. Maybe Wayne is more self-centered, but he's still, I think, doing what he thinks is best for him and the player character. So let's tell Avery the whole truth. Stella and I went into the woods to try and find a skunk gate, but we ran into something way worse. Actual monsters. Sybil said they're called ditchlings, but whatever they are, they took Gretchen and have been mutilating the local wildlife. Whoa, 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 slow down. Something took Gretchen? No wonder Stella ran off like that. I can corroborate, at least with regards to their encounter. I may not have been out there with them, but I've seen their footage, and they encountered something otherworldly in those woods. Well, whatever it was that happened out there, you're clearly a little shaken up. I'll tell you what, I'm on break for the next half hour. How about you swing by the diner? Winnie can fix you some of Sybil's new blend to try to calm your nerves. It's chaga and lemon balm. It's always helped me on bad days. And if you need to talk about what happened, I'm all ears. Anyways, it's up to you. See you around, Mint. See you, Sybil. This is also something I've noticed. The writer, you could spot, there's a quirk of the writer where they always say anyways. They never say anyway. Take care now, Avery. I'd better get back to it myself. I'm glad I was able to catch you this morning, if only to see how you were holding up. Please don't hesitate to stop by if I can be of any help. What aren't you telling us? You're awfully relaxed given everything you told us last night. Don't mistake my calm demeanor for complacency. We all have our parts to play. I've shared what I know about the ditchlings, and I trust that you and Stella have what it takes to get to the bottom of things. I'm sorry to cut our conversation short, but I've got things that need tending to. Stay safe, Mint, and God bless. Oh snap, is Ikigai-kosei back? Stella said you had some time to kill before she finished setting up. Go by the diner. The diner's a little quiet today, but the air is still heavy with the tantalizing smell of breakfast. We will sound like a crazy person if we just start hollering about the danger, so let's talk to Avery. You slide into a booth across from Avery. Hey there, stranger. Before you can exchange words, Winnie sidles up, a fresh mug of tea in hand. Heard you might need this, and don't worry about paying for it. That funeral has you worried plenty already, I bet. And the answer to 29 down is oink. What? But the clue is pen sound. How is that a sound a pen makes? Wait, pen like pig pen? Are you kidding me? How was I supposed to guess that? I don't know why you even bother with those things. They're just gonna frustrate you. That's just something to do to fill the time, but maybe I should switch to Sudoku. Yeah, Julius is in the wide shot. He was sitting one booth over from the wall, but now he's fully in the corner. I think if he was here, that obviously wouldn't work. He needs to be in the corner booth. I don't know why he's not. So thanks for telling me about last night. If you want to get really into the grisly details, you can tell me. I won't judge. We're gonna drink the tea. The man in the far back corner clears his throat as you bring the cup to your mouth. Don't mind Julius. I don't think he drinks anything other than coffee. You hesitantly take a sip of your tea. It tastes like you're drinking mold that someone tried to unsuccessfully spruce up with lemon balm. It tastes healthy. Take another sip. The flavor is strong and slightly unpleasant, but it's nothing compared to some of the atrocities you've put into your body. If you can handle Tabitha's congealed leftovers, you can handle anything. I forgot that we ate those. Whoa, color me impressed. Not a lot of folks take to chaga so quickly. What if you don't believe me? I'm not here to judge, I'm here to listen. You share everything. Glad to have someone to talk to about the horrors you've witnessed. Wow, that is some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed distant. Can't believe Gretchen is really gone. Seemed like that dog was gonna live forever. And monsters in the woods. I've never heard of anything like that around here. I mean, I know I haven't been around that long, but it feels like that's the kind of thing people would talk about. How exciting. I hadn't pegged you as a transplant. Where are you from? I moved here from Charlotte something like 3 years ago now, maybe a little more. I've lost track. Aunt Winnie offered me a place to stay and a job, and who was I to pass on that sort of generosity? To be honest, it still feels like I just moved in. Practically everyone apart from the Cole folks grew up in this town, so it's like I'm the perpetual new kid. Don't get me wrong, folks here are plenty polite and friendly, but there's a shared history I'll never be part of. Why'd you leave Charlotte, if you don't mind me asking? I love Julius here. He's like desperate to learn anything he can about Avery. No, it's cool. I was having some issues with my folks about my education, which wasn't great, especially since I was still stuck under their roof. When my aunt heard about it, she offered me a job and a place to stay, and the rest is history. Do you regret moving here? Yeah, I don't think I have the choice to second thoughts. I don't think I have the choice to have second thoughts. I'm not going anywhere without Aunt Winnie, and there's no way she's leaving this place. And I found my place here, I think. Can't say I feel like uprooting again anytime soon, so I think that means I like it well enough. Shouldn't uproot too often anyway. Stresses out the plant. Yeah, I get it. I felt out of place the whole time I've been here. It's not like it's terrible, right? But there's a feeling, like people are looking at you longer than they should. Town of nosy assholes, if you ask me. The muttering came from the man in the back booth. He straightens his newspaper, hiding behind it, as if pretending he hadn't just weighed in on your conversation. Says the guy who's listening in on other people's conversations. Maybe you're one of those nosy assholes, huh, Julius? The man continues to hide behind his newspaper. Now, you should get out of here before things get any worse. If you have a car, drive away. You think things are going to get worse, like that whole portent of doom thing was for real? There's no way I could get Aunt Winnie to leave, and I'm not going anywhere without her. Not after everything she's done for me. I think I'll stick it out. I'm not afraid of a few monsters in the hills. According to Stella, there have always been monsters up there anyway, which is kind of a selling point for me, honestly. I think we should put it on postcards. My coffee's out. Oh no, and you've only had 5 cups today. How are you going to survive? Kidding. I'll just be a second, Julius. Well, Mint, looks like I better get back to it. Hope you're feeling a little better. Maybe the Chogger's had a chance to start working its magic. Oh, but before I go, I'm throwing a party this weekend. Nothing fancy, just a little get-together. Avery grabs a napkin, pulling out a pen and quickly scribbling something on the thin paper before handing it to you. That's my place. Come by any time after 6 on Saturday. It's almost Halloween, and it didn't seem like anyone else was going to throw one, so I stepped up to the plate. Though if you didn't come prepared with a costume, don't worry. I'm sure I can convince the bouncer to let you in anyway. Avery slips out of the booth, giving a friendly half-wave before disappearing into the back. I seen a few of them things around. I seen a few of them things up near my place, you know. Bullets do 'em just fine. The man hides behind his newspaper, clearly uninterested in saying another word. What is the book that Winnie is reading? It's hard to tell. It's clearly a romance novel. Let me see if I can get a better look. Is it Guilty Guess? I don't know. Oh well, I guess we'll just never know. Why take hot if you don't flirt at every possible opportunity? Shake my head, XD. Because we are going to go for Kanika this run. We'll swing by the general store. This is your first time seeing the general store in the light of day. A young man sits at the table by the register, too preoccupied with his phone to care that you stepped in. Hi, I'm Mint. I just got to town yesterday. I'm Miles. What you doing on your phone? Playing a Dragon Ball game? It's not like it's cool or anything. I'm just killing time. So if I want to buy chips or something, do I just talk to you, or... You can have some chips if you want. It's not a big deal. But wouldn't that make Kanika mad? Well, she shouldn't have left me in charge while she's off doing whatever. If Kanika cares about me offering someone free chips, she can hire someone else and let me live my life. We make most of our money on bulk orders anyways. A bag of chips doesn't make a difference. Hell yeah. Thanks for looking out, man. You grab a bag of salt and vinegar chips from a nearby shelf. It will sustain you in the coming days. Right on. See ya, Miles. See ya. Miles's focus turns back to his phone as you leave the general store. You enter the former town hall. What once must have been a stately foyer has been converted into rows of shelves. Meeting rooms and offices long ago gave way to assorted reference collections and reading areas. Oh hey, you made it! Shushed Stella and pointed all of the books before heading over to her table. This is a library. Glad you found the place. Hey Mint, you look tired. This is a pretty funny line considering, but I'll just say I'm pretty amped up actually. I've never actually done a Scooby-Doo before. Some creepy old guy with a real estate scheme and a bad costume is at least a little more believable than monsters and curses. That'd honestly be a relief at this point. Anyways, I guess we should get started. Hey there, strangers. And literal stranger. I'm not clicking that. Hi, I'm Mint, Tabitha's cousin. I'm in town for the funeral. Oh, I should have known you were Scarlet. You look so much like Vivian. So I think this line is a clue about something. I pointed out before that Avery looks almost exactly like Joan. Avery, I'm sorry, not Avery, Reese looks exactly like Joan. Not that I knew her very well. I was still a little kid when she left. But that Scarlet resemblance, it's, strong. So, clearly we look a lot like Vivian. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm Oscar Gutierrez, Chief Librarian, and only librarian. Oscar's amazing. He practically built this library from scratch. Yeah, I'm a little jealous of what the kids around here get to grow up with. They don't know how good they have it. Back when I was in elementary school, all the library had was a couple of shelves of boring books donated by old people. Y'all are too kind. But speaking of kids, have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. You know the crowd she hangs around with. They're good kids at heart. I'm sure they're just up at the old Maxwell place doing teen stuff. I went up there plenty of times in my day, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled. Kids are smarter than you think. She can take care of herself. You might not want to let her run off like that anymore, though. It's not as safe as it usually is around here. Is that so? Kanika's right. There's some weird stuff going on in the woods. That's actually why we came in today. Have you ever heard of creatures called ditchlings? They apparently show up around places on the brink of disaster, and they kind of look like if the Pillsbury Doughboy was a creepypasta. I forgot about that line. Kanika's mom told us about them last night after seeing some footage we got in the woods. Ditchlings. Doesn't ring a bell. Dang, worth a shot. Okay, if you were, say, trying to predict a horrible disaster that might befall our town, where would you start looking? And I pointed this out last time, but the, this is a great drawing. Also, another clue about her, her powerful build trait. Girl got arms. Well, they say history repeats itself, so I'd probably try and figure out what sort of disasters this region typically falls prey to. Should I be worried about something? I don't know yet. I'll be right back. Gonna nab some more books. I'm pretty sure Stella's barking up the wrong tree, Oscar. I don't think you have to worry about any horrible calamity befalling the town. But she's right about the weird stuff. There's definitely something unusual going on out in those woods. That's nothing we can't get to the bottom of. I'm gonna try calling Rosalina again. I'm sure she's fine, really. Rosalina's a smart kid. She knows better than to go around getting into trouble. And we'll be sure to keep our eyes peeled. Mint, if you see a 13-year-old girl with a black braid and glasses, would you let her know that her dad is worried about her? Oscar anxiously wanders off, phone in hand. Got him. Got him. Just grabbed the whole mess of local history books. Stella sets a massive pile of books on the table and pulls up a chair. Oh, right. This is going to be so much faster with the two of you here to help out. Got our snacks, got our books. Let's get this research party started. Reading awaits. So, I read all these last time. I think I will just hit the highlights. No, maybe not. They're not that bad. Forced into retirement at age 50 due to a war injury from his time in the Indian Wars, exacerbated by his short stint serving as a captain of the Confederacy, Silas Scarlet also lost his eldest two sons to that bloodiest of wars, leaving his third eldest son, Andrew Jackson Scarlet, to take charge of the mine. Under his leadership, the mine prospered, undoubtedly in part due to the growth of the railroad industry. Blah, 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 managed to evade the coal union for decades, making them one of the most profitable mines in the country. Andrew Scarlet built the surrounding town into what it is today, with expensive stone buildings, a bustling main street, and overseeing it all, the elegant Scarlet Estate that was until 1895 the largest and finest feat of architecture in the region, culminating in the tragic collapse of 1918. It was found that Charles Shaw, the co-manager of the mine, had loosened security measures to increase production during World War I, resulting in a fatal collapse and the deaths of over 160 men and boys, some as young as 10. The casualties included Andrew Jackson Scarlet's son Theodore. His brother, Enoch V. Scarlet, who had taken over for their aging father during the bustle of the war, managed to pull the mine from the brink of ruin, thereby saving the town. I wonder what Enoch's middle name is. It wouldn't be Vincent, because they're not Italian, and that was like only an Italian name until pretty recently. I'm trying to think of like what what like a 19th century guy with V would be. So this is how your family made its fortune. And just pointing out again, she's got the little creature from Madoka Magica. Also, so we know that this game takes place in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which are just kind of packed into the west end of North Carolina. So I wonder if this... I've been wondering if this is a picture, because it's not going to be in the middle. It's not going to be in Macon County. It would be like way over on the left. So it's like not actually all that far from Asheville. But the way that the Blue Ridge Mountains work is a holler is like a special kind of valley in the Appalachians, where there are these really high-ridged, low bowl valleys that are hard to get in and out of. So these communities have always been really cut off historically, and even today with cars and stuff, the getting in and out of them is not always very easy. It's not going to be Vincenzo. Come on. Maybe Valentine, but I don't know. It doesn't strike me as super like period appropriate. Silas Everett Scarlet was born to... Oh no, wait, I already read that one, right? No. Was born to Colonel Everett J. Scarlet in 1818. One of 12 siblings, he grew up in the eastern North Carolina during a tumultuous time in the state's history, and not much is known about his life before he joined the Army in 1836. He quickly rose through the ranks, in part due to his father's connections, but also due to a particular ruthlessness, for which he earned the nickname Bloody Silas Scarlet. The federal government granted the now Captain Silas a tract of land, of bounty land, in exchange for his service in the Indian War, and he settled into the hills of North Carolina in 1841. The land would become Scarlet Hollow. But it started as a simple log cabin built by Silas's own 2 hands, occupied by his family of 10: Silas, his wife Mary Joseph Scarlet, and their 8 children. Logging business brought many workers and fellow landowners to the hills, but it wasn't until Silas discovered rich seams of coal running underneath the entire region that Scarlet Hollow was really put on the map. He saved what he could and bought the surrounding hillside at a great discount, cleverly hiding what he knew about the land's true value. Thus he had all the resources to found Scarlet Hollow's now famous coal mine. I drink your milkshake. A few entries catch your eye. This is the, I should have read the title. This is the cryptid book. Wampus Cat, often linked to Cherokee legends, some cite the Wampus Cat as originating with the story of a woman who sought vengeance against a monstrous cat demon for driving her husband mad. She hunted it down and, by wearing a bobcat mask, tricked it into using its own vile magic on itself, freeing the people of their region from its evil. Others say the creature comes from the story of a woman who wore the pelt of a wild cat to witness forbidden hunting rites. The hunters of her village gathered to perform the rites, and she watched in secret from underneath the cat's pelt, but was soon discovered. For her indiscretion, she was fused with the pelt and transformed into a creature that was neither human nor cat.
You to not give the IRS.
Thank you, leftist mushroom. I'm gonna have to give them 15% of it, or whatever. I think it's it's like 30% minus some because of no, it's not 30%. That's crazy. 15% like minus some because of business expenses and stuff. So the Wampus Cat here is part of the inspiration for Reese's story. He's kind of halfway between a Wampus Cat and a the dev says he's halfway between a Wampus Cat and a Jersey Devil. I think he's much closer to Jersey Devil, but her calls are those of great sadness and serve as a warning to anyone who dares go against tradition. And of course the Tommyknockers, we know what those are about. Tommyknockers originated in Cornish mythology, spreading to the United States when Cornish immigrants began working in Appalachian mines. They're named for the knocking that can be heard from seemingly within the walls before a cave-in. According to some, the knocking serves as a benevolent warning. Others believe the creatures take stolen hammers to the supports of mines and collapse them on whoever's unfortunate enough to still be inside. They're traditionally thought to be impish, leprechaun-like beings, but some claim they are the spirits of dead miners, forever cursed to haunt their final resting place. And we got Taily Po. There was a hunter who lived in a tiny cabin in the middle of the woods, all alone with his hunting dog. One night, after a particularly bad week of hunting, both their stomachs empty, the hunter spied something out of the corner of his eye. Some small creature had gotten into the cabin through a hole, and before he could even figure out what it was, he'd drawn his gun and fired at the thing, his hunger guiding his actions. But it was quick and ran back through its hidey hole out of sight, leaving only its long black tail shot off by the hunter's rifle. "Guess this'll have to do," he said to his dog, and threw the tail in the pot to cook a soup. He and his dog ate well that night, the tail filling them both up. The hunter crawled into bed satisfied, and his dog curled up at his feet. He woke up to the sound of long nails scrabbling across wood. His dog was nowhere in sight, only a rumpled spot on the covers where he'd been, and in the gloom he saw two big yellow eyes staring right at him. "I want my taily po," a high, hoarse voice creaked from the darkness. "Go away!" he screamed at the thing. But it stepped closer to him, still shrouded in darkness, the sound of long claws dragging across hardwood accompanying its movements. "I want my taily po," the creature growled again. "I'll get my dog after you," the hunter squeaked, his voice catching in his throat with fear. But there was no dog to be seen. "I want my taily po!" Before the hunter could so much as scream, the creature leapt from the darkness, long claws reached out toward him. No one is sure what the creature did to him that night, but the next morning, all that remained of the hunter, his dog, and his cabin was a chimney, standing alone in the woods. I think I'm all done. Let's check in. Alright, if we're going with what Kanika's mom told us last night, I think we can rule out any natural disasters as for what brought the ditchlings here. Sterling Silversword says, "That story gave me nightmares as a kid, though that version was much longer. My dad made the best terrifying voice for it." I think Tailipo is also the creature in the Ted the Caver story from that website that was like kind of predated what you would think of as creepypastas. That site is still up. Someone should post the link in chat or something. It's cool. What about y'all? Find anything? Before you can respond, a handsome black cat leaps onto the table. Almost on instinct, Stella slams her book shut. "Aw, hey Pixel. You might want to close your book. He loves to rip up any paper he can find." "Ha, don't worry, little guy. I didn't forget your treats." Pixel immediately goes to town on Stella's treats. Sorry if Pixel's bothering y'all. Hopefully he hasn't gobbled up any of our books. He can't stand the thought that people might pay attention to anything that isn't him. I won't pretend. Why would you let a paper shredder freely wander a library? Have you seen this little guy's face? How could I say no to that? Kitty. Full loaf. Alright, I'd better get back to shelving. Let me know if y'all need anything. Have you had any luck with Rosalina? Nah, not yet. I knew a teen would be a handful, but I didn't think it would happen overnight. I'll probably head out once you're done and check on her usual haunts. Stella, what was that you were saying about nuclear incidents? You were talking about that Goldsboro thing, right? Yeah, apparently in the 60s a B-52 carrying a live warhead broke up midair and dropped a couple of bombs. Fascinating bit of history there. The first of the two bombs landed upright after its parachute got caught in a tree. Thankfully, it didn't go off. At the time, the government claimed that the bomb was unarmed, but it later came out that the only thing preventing a detonation was a single electrical switch which failed to trigger in the descent. And 60 years later, the second bomb still hasn't been recovered. Right, its conventional explosive disintegrated in midair, but most of the nuclear material was made unrecoverable by flooding. If I remember correctly, they just buried it and sealed it up. If the bomb is somewhere else, why would there be so many ditchlings here? We shouldn't be looking too hard at the disaster angle anyways. Whatever those creatures are, they're biological. Look, you never know with radiation. We actually know quite a bit. It just melts you, it doesn't make monsters, and a 60-year-old bomb isn't going to explode on its own hundreds of miles away and kill us here. You never know. There could always be a whole underground society of bomb-worshipping mutants just waiting to blow it up. I've missed this. Do you think Wayne factors into any of this? That creep who keeps coming around my mom's tea room? He snuck up on us last night and called Mint out by name. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with him. Maybe he's sick. Maybe that has something to do with what you saw in the woods. I don't know. I'd buy it. So about the coal mines here. Kanika visibly shudders. I get cold sweats just thinking about being in a place like that. I feel for the guys who work up there. I could never. Speak for yourself. I love a good crevasse. But what does that mean, Stella? What are you trying to say? A union-busting mine collapsed from poor working conditions. Color me shocked. Yeah, it's pretty awful. That's what the sculpture out front is for, commemorating all the men and children who died that day. Every kid in Scarlet Hollow learns about the collapse of 1918. Our teachers love to emphasize how many children they had working down there, probably to try and show us how good we have it here or whatever. So, Astronomalies says, I need to know more about the implications of Wayne frequently visiting Sybil, like Kanika details. Well, in a bit we will see that Sybil helps us with something. And I think what happened, I think the sequence of events was that Sam Wayne was dating Tabitha, and Pearl Ann made her cut him off because Tabitha's goal in serially dating people was to get pregnant. It was not to, you know, have a relationship or whatever. But unlike all the other guys she dated, he was like, they actually really liked each other. And so she cuts him off, and he's like, nothing doing. And so he shows up at the house looking for her, and he finds the cell, and he's thinking that, like, oh, the cell is, you know, Tabitha must be in there. And so he kicks down the door or something, and then Pearl Ann finds him and shoots him because he saw something he wasn't supposed to see. And he then became possessed by the entity, and probably from there ran off to go to Sybil to get some help holding the body together, because possessed or not, he's got a bullet hole in him somewhere. So I think he's gooped up because he's, if you talk to him about, I can try doing something today that will explain a little bit more. But I think he's either infected because he's got a gunshot wound that hasn't been properly treated, or he's dead, or his body is rejecting the possession. One of those three things is causing him to get all nasty. You know, that could be what the ditchlings are warning us about. Another collapse. Writing it down on a list of potential disasters. Yeesh, Stella, that's morbid. And besides, it was all Charles Shaw's fault. The labor market is way more strict now. There's no way you could get away with that kind of safety cutbacks he pulled. Y'all don't actually think the mine is about to collapse, right? Marlon says, doesn't Sybil want to consume the entity? She does. But the three kind of powers at play are all working at cross purposes, but they also kind of need each other a little bit. So I think everybody's trying to play like 5-dimensional chess. Had me worried there for a second. I hate to give Tabitha any credit, but the mine is safer now than it was back then. Still, what a horrible thought. You never know. What happened after the mine collapse? The book just kind of glosses over that. There was a union for a little bit, but it didn't last. There's not a whole lot written about the past century here. Yeah, the Scarlet Hollow mine isn't exactly the most ethically run business. I'm sure Tabby runs the mines better than Charles Shaw did. Still hasn't let the union in, though. There's a reason she and I don't talk. You guys really seem to have a bone to pick with Charles Shaw. That's what happens when someone directly causes a monumental disaster, especially in a small town like this. People tend to spit when they hear your name. He got run out of town on a rail, you know? That's not a figure of speech. Back then they actually did tie you to a rail and run you out of town. There's a big mural over on the far wall. He got off easy if you ask me. What if the ditchlings are coming from the mines? Maybe there's like some kind of subterranean creature the miners accidentally dug up. I'm not gonna lie, at this point I'd believe that. It'd certainly take off a bunch of cryptid boxes. The mines have been active for over 150 years. I'd be surprised if they'd only managed to dig something up now. You guys seem pretty serious about this, huh? So, Silas Scarlet. Wow, talk about a self-made man. Seems like a great dude. Yeesh. I figured old money from the South wouldn't be great, but he sure did some things to get where he was, huh? The book is a perfect example of why you should use multiple sources for your research instead of trusting the first thing you read on a subject. Yep, dude was a monster. The mines made a lot of money during the Civil War, too, and you can probably guess which side of North Carolina the business owner would be fighting for. Sorry you're related to him. Seems like a terrible person, but I don't see what that has to do with bad omens or creatures in the woods. I agree. We're talking about ancient history here. Yeah, we probably have better leads. Never hurts to have historical context. So Appalachian folk monsters. Wampus cats kind of sound like they could be mountain lions. Voice like a woman crying out, somewhere between person-sized and cat-sized. Definitely, they are 100% mountain lions. Kanika, you know there are no mountain lions up here. I thought you were supposed to be a skeptic. But the myths are old, right? Mountain lions didn't go extinct in the Appalachians that long ago. The legends just haven't died off yet. Almost every cryptid can be tracked down to either a hoax or someone getting confused about a perfectly normal animal. Sometimes both. Bigfoot, for instance, started as a prank, and then folks saw bears walking around their hind legs and got freaked out, and now here we are. You'll eat those words when I get the first clear footage of a Bigfoot. I saw the other day that there was proof, finally, that the famous Bigfoot footage is fake. Somebody found, more footage from that tape of, the guys, trying on the costume and, practicing the walk. And that happened very recently, I think, the other day. If you manage that, I'll print out a piece of paper that says Bigfoot isn't real and literally eat it. I promise. I'm holding you to it. My mom used to tell me that Tealy story back when I was little. I can't believe I forgot that one. It scared me so bad that I didn't eat soup for years. I thought a monster might try and dig it out of my stomach if I did. I love that one. There's this old chimney in the woods that I used to think was the chimney from Tealy, the one that was left after the thing did whatever it did. Now I know that's just because chimneys don't burn down and wooden houses do. That doesn't mean it's not the chimney from the Tealy. I've camped out there a couple of times, and I've seen some pretty spooky stuff. Yeah, I watched that video. You saw raccoons. You're gonna get rabies one of these days chasing after wildlife like that. What can I say? I like to live on the edge. Do you think the ditchlings are Tommyknockers? What with the whole warning thing? Good thought, but Tommyknockers live in mines. That's like their whole thing. I'm gonna write it down, though. Tommyknockers are literally just the sounds that happen when a bunch of rocks and wood are about to collapse. Are they, or are they the sound of mysterious creatures pounding on the rocks and support beams with hammers that cause a collapse? There's simply no way to know. Let's move on. Yeah, let's check out the mines. Between Wayne, the old collapse, and the fact that the whole town's practically built around them, it seems like the smartest place to start. Good idea. There's an awful lot of mines-related stuff in my notes. We can poke around, find out if anyone's seen anything weird. Just to clarify, you two are suggesting we go to question some of the miners, right? We're absolutely not poking around unprepared in the actual mines, right? Right? Yeah, totally, 100%. I would never. We don't even have a good reason to go down there. Good. Let's keep it that way. You know how I feel about mines. I promise, Neeks, we're just going to question some of the miners. And if that questioning gives us a good reason to poke around, say, a cool abandoned coal mine, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You can cross that bridge when we come to it. I am not going underground. Just messing with you. We'll stick to the surface. Yeah, and hopefully we can find out what happened to Wayne while we're at it. I'm sure Tabitha's gonna love that we're snooping around. We'll just have to make sure we don't get caught. We'll be super sneaky. I can even keep a lookout. Look at us, going out on a caper together. I missed this. I missed it too. Though there is something missing. Reese. I really missed that dude. Can't believe how long it's been. Have you seen him lately? No, I've tried to get him to plan stuff. I've tried to plan stuff, but he's been too sick. I didn't realize it was getting so bad. That poor guy. You know, we could just pop over and surprise him. He seemed excited to meet Mint. Maybe we'll finally get him to leave his little cave. Yeah, let's do it. See you, Oscar. See you, Oscar. We'll let you know if we run into Rosalina. Thanks, guys. I'll keep you all posted. Reese's home stands at the edge of the forest wall, an isolated buffer cushioning the rest of the town from an unending wilderness. Wayne's not here. He's here when we come back on day 4. He's like over here or something. Reese, it's Stella. I brought some buddies too. Shh, not so loud. He's still sleeping. Can I help you with something? The woman in the doorway stares directly into your eyes. You can practically feel her simmering irritation washing over you. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come and hang out. Nothing strenuous, we promise. I'm not going to wake him up. If he's sleeping, he probably needs it. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now anyways. Oh no, poor Reese. It's just been so long since either of us have gotten the chance to hang out with him. I'm sure he and Mint would get along super well, too. So we saw what happens if we say this. She like looks away and she says, "I know who you are," because obviously she recognizes us at a glance, even though she's never met us. We're gonna get street smart. We're just going for a light walk, and I've heard such great things about your son. I'm only in town for a few more days, and it'd be a shame if I didn't get the chance to meet him. Her face. Dr. Kelly looks you up and down and sighs. All right, you win. He's usually feeling his best around mid-afternoon. Why don't you come over tomorrow? We can have some supper and y'all can hang out for a bit. I don't promise that he'll be perky, but I'm sure it'll brighten his spirits to see you two again. I'm sure I'll be happy to meet you too, Mint. That'd be great. I could bring a side dish. Maybe deviled eggs. Does he still eat those? No, eggs are a little too much for him. They don't settle well. You can leave the cooking to me. I know what he can handle. Okay, I'll bring soda then. That's not... Okay, yes, fine. You can bring soda. Nothing with caffeine. Ginger ale, preferably. Oh, and leave the dog at home. Okay, no dogs. Thanks so much, Dr. Kelly. We'll stop bothering you now. See you later. Dr. Kelly nods in acknowledgement and shuts the door. The sound of several locks clicking into place can be heard from within. God, that woman makes me so nervous. Are you okay, Stella? I'm fine. She used to be so nice when we were kids. Always had the best stickers when we had to get our shots. Maybe she's just stressed about Reese. Or maybe she's just nice to kids. Either way, I guess it's just the three of us. You gonna drive? Yeah, sorry, I don't like the thought of going up there without the van. Cool. I'll take my shortcut then. It shouldn't take long for me to get there. You're welcome to tag along, Mint. On the last run, did we go with Stella or Kanika here? I think we rode with Kanika, right? We are Kanika maxing, but the car ride isn't necessary for that, and I feel really bad for Stella. Okay, yeah, we'll go with Stella. Don't worry, I won't be offended if you'd rather ride with Kanika. I'm sure you're probably sick of the woods. Either way works for me. I'll walk with Stella. We'll meet you there. The woods are calm and serene compared to last night, though you can't help but feel that danger lurks just beyond the trees. Hey, thanks for coming along with me. I really like this version of her theme. So again, Stella doesn't like it when you get confrontational about stuff. It's hard to imagine you and Kanika doing videos together. She doesn't believe in any of this stuff. Where's Wayne? Somebody said Wayne spotted. Searching for... Oh god. Oh my god. There he is. That's terrifying. It'd be funny if you could click him and something would happen. Well, they weren't really as spook-focused as my solo stuff. It's mostly just the escapades of three kids with too much time on their hands. Still, she wasn't always such a skeptic. She used to absolutely love reading anything with magic in it. And she still does, I think. So again, this is another nice little bit of establishing character. Kanika didn't used to be a skeptic. Something happened. And if you remember when we went to her house on the first night, she opened the door and goes, "What, mother?" Like they were clearly having a fight or something. And also, Kanika is aware that something is wrong with her relationship with her mother. But I'm not sure like how clued into everything she is. She just doesn't think that stuff is real anymore. I guess I don't exactly think that way either, but I'm still willing to accept the unexplainable, while she looks for explanations. She keeps me grounded, honestly. Let's see, oh gosh. Do I want to be nice or do I want to bring up aliens? We chatted about aliens before. Do you think the ditchlings might be aliens? The thought has definitely crossed my mind, but it's hard to say. They didn't seem very smart. But they did make that weird corpse circle, remember? I've been trying not to jump to conclusions, but it was hard seeing something like that and not immediately making a connection to crop circles. What if they have some kind of alien technology that predicts the future, so they know something bad is about to happen and trying to warn us, hence the legends? It's a thought. So I think Stella's alien thing is like not actually all that stupid. I think the entity is. I mean, we know the entity's an alien, and it might not be an alien from like outer space, but it's still, you know, like a Lovecraft kind of elder god thing. So again, we can confront her. Let's not do that. It's nice to get to spend more time out here with you. Yesterday was fun, minus all the bad parts. Ah, that's really nice. The conversation comes to a dramatic halt, both of you whirling around to face the source of the sound. It's just a bird. Guess we're both a little on edge, huh? If Gretchen is here and you have talked to animals, the bird is like, "This is my stick, find your own." Let's hurry to the mine. It shouldn't be much farther. Kanika casually leans against her van as you and Stella emerge from the woods. Hey. Y'all have a good walk? It was all right. You didn't run into any of those creatures, did you? Nope. That makes sense. They're probably nocturnal. I don't know if I should feel relieved or disappointed. But we're all here. What's the plan? I guess we just go talk to people. I guess so. I should probably be on lookout duty. I'm a bit of a persona non grata in the mines. Tabitha? Yeah, I might have tried sneaking in to talk to her a time or too many. We're probably less likely to get caught if only one of us is snooping around in there. Street smart. I call dibs. I love to do a good sneak. So, generally, Kanika likes it if you're proactive, if you're brave, if you're... She's a bit of a damsel in distress. You're gonna do great. So, the plan. You know those cheesy old rom-coms where someone wears an earpiece on their first date? Whoa, do you have some kind of surveillance set up in the back of your van that I didn't know about? What? No. I have a pair of earbuds with a really good mic. We can just do a group call. Kanika hands you a pair of earbuds. We can feed you questions if you get stuck, and Stella can give you a heads up if Tabitha's headed your way. Dang, I miss doing this sort of thing with you. You're so thorough. Aw, thanks. I do my best. I guess we should part ways and start the call, yeah? Stella and Kanika break off, leaving you alone with the entrance to the mines. Your phone buzzes. Hey! Can you hear us? Try saying something. Somebody says, I had location-based issues with that one on Chapter 3, so I just gave up on her path. Yeah, so Chapter 3, you generally have to do the Day 3 hangout for the romances. Unless you have Hot, I think. If you have Hot and you seek the person out before Chapter 3, you still get a window to do it. Nope, can't hear you, sorry. Very funny. You're coming through crystal clear on my end. Nothing to do now but enter the worksite. Oh, Chapter 4. So the ditchlings, I think the ditchlings are tied to Sybil. I mentioned this the other day. They look a lot like the glimpse of Sybil that we get in one of the final scenes, and like the glimpse of her like true form. And the fact that they're not, they're the only supernatural thing we see that's not tied to one of the stones. So the hangouts are very not mandatory. I got Kanika romance locks available on routes where I was totally for Avery, Reese. Okay, maybe you just have to be really careful about it. Maybe I'm gonna see if we can do the Isaacs thing without breaking the Kanika romance. Yeah, Hot is a character trait. So there's Hot, Street Smart, those are both kind of the charisma traits. Street Smart is like you're sneaking and you're lying, but also your ability to kind of like sweet talk people. Hot is like you're just insanely attractive. But it also gives you like some insight about people based on the fact that you're insanely attractive. There's book smart, there's talks to animals, there's powerful build, keen eye. Is that all of them? That might be all of them. And you get to pick 2. Hot also initially gives you a bump in your reputation, your agreeability with just about everybody, I think. I just finished your last stream VOD. Happy to catch this one. You're a really good streamer. Thank you. I'm in. Alright, Morpheus. Good to know. You approach the nearest group of miners, a blonde woman, a broad-shouldered man, and an old-timer. Their uniforms identifies them as Harrison, Davis, and Zax. Hey, it's Pukey! Pukey? If you don't know what they're talking about, it's probably for the best. How's it going, Pukey? Okay. We threw up in front of the entire town. It would be funny to just follow that up with, hey, I'm Tabitha's cousin, like, stop calling me names or you're all fired. This gets you a, picking this one gets you a, an achievement though, so I'm gonna pick it. My name's not Pukey. It is now. Should have thought about that before you went puking on everything. Seen anything weird lately? The miners look you up and down. Weird how? Have you heard any weird noises coming from the woods? Not a peep. I'm underground most of the day, though. You know, I heard something unusual the other night. Thought it might have been an owl or something, but it didn't sound right. It was an owl. You're just not used to the local wildlife yet. Have you run into any weird animals? Nope. You've been talking to that townie. The one the boss gave a lifetime ban to? Wait, are they talking about me? Yeah, she's like a Bigfoot YouTuber or something. Her videos are actually pretty good. Yep, that's me, alright. Aw, that's so sweet. But you know, now that I think about it, it's pretty weird. I haven't seen any animals at all lately. Used to be able to see all sorts of critters. Now it's mostly birds. Astronomically says, I love how you get the option to just throw up in front of people and make the worst impression possible. So there's another achievement I was gonna get where you use hot to have the presence of mind to like step out of sight of everybody and throw up in a way that nobody sees, and then you just immediately play it off. But I think you have to not go to the diner, and I wanted to go to the diner to show that off. It's your first year up here, ain't it? Just not used to the seasons changing. All the animals are hibernating, that's all. I don't know, she's got a point. I've been up here for 5 years now, and it's never been like this before. Oh, sorry, that was Davis. I thought that was Harrison. Ha, maybe it's global warming then. I think they're calling it climate change now. Ask him about Wayne. You know anything about a guy named Wayne? Yeah, we knew him. He's such a cut-up. Miss that dude. What happened to him? The miners shift for a moment, uncomfortably glancing at one another. Isn't that the guy you all said was, He's gone. That's all that matters. What happened to him? What are you, some sort of cop? Keep it on the down low, but I'm working for a competitor. A unionized competitor. We're thinking of buying Ms. Scarlet out of the mines. Part of my work here is due diligence. No, you're not. David and I were there when you barfed all over Woody's fine dining establishment lately. That townie made sure we knew you were. You're the boss's cousin. Oh. Sorry, man. I tried to cover for you. Caught in a lie. That's pretty funny. Come on, let's get out of here. The shift's about to start anyways. Sorry. I didn't know that happened. That's very funny. You head over to the next group of miners. You stop in your tracks, a shiver running up your spine, and as an unfortunately familiar voice calls out to you.
You shouldn't have come here. It's dangerous.
Ghost!
No ghost. Flesh and blood. I can tell you're afraid of me. Don't be. I am the only person in this town who truly cares about your safety. Don't forget that. Even if it's already too late to stop what's going to happen.
Yeah? Where were you when I was in the woods?
Watching. I would have stepped in if you were ever truly in danger.
Before you can say another word, the figure is gone. Hey, Mint, are you still there? We've just been getting static from you. Don't mind me. Our new friend just stopped by to say hello. Oh, I saw you talking to someone down there. Are you okay? He said some real ominous shit to me. I am the only person in this town who cares about your safety. That sort of thing. What the hell is that supposed to mean? The plot thickens. So this is a moment where you can see how close you are with Stella. we're not that close, because she would normally say, hey, I care about your safety, if you were. So, and here's a chance to score some points with Kanika. Wayne trying to leave just makes me think we're on the right track. I'm not about to back down. Oh, so brave. Heck yeah, man, we've got your back. Whoa there, you feeling okay? These are new shoes, so if you're not, I'm more than my gastrointestinal distress. I'm a human being. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel bad. I just don't get new shoes too often. Do any of you know a man named Wayne? Wayne? You mean Sam Wayne? What are you talking about him for? Wait, have you seen him? He's been following me. It's real creepy, man. Oh, thank God, everyone thought he was dead. Now, hold on. Creepy doesn't exactly sound like Wayne, does it? How do you know it was him? That's what the folks at the general store have been calling him. Kanika and Sybil. Good people, but I don't expect they know every mining fellow in town by sight, if you catch my drift. Smith, you're losing me. I'm just saying, it'd be awful strange for Wayne to still be in town wandering around following some stranger and not checking in with any of his buddies. Sounds to me like somebody who got sick of work and is having just a little fun playing hooky. The following, though. Okay, yeah, that does sound a little unlike him. I thought his lady friend had him under lock and key. Just smells fishy to me. Until I see him face to face, I'm not convinced whoever's calling himself Sam Wayne ain't the very reason we haven't seen neither hide nor hair of the man. No, there's no way. He can't be. I'm not ruling it out. You want my theory? That girlfriend of his, he wasn't the first to catch her eye. Any one of her jilted ex-lovers could have seen them sneaking around and gotten a little hotter under the collar, if you catch my meaning. Dang, who are they talking about? The miners are silent for a moment, glancing between each other nervously as they imagine the possibility. I told him not to get involved with her. I told him. Who was Wayne seeing? Whoa now. If you don't know, there's no way I'm poking that wasp's nest. Forget we said anything. Yeah, I don't want to be next on the chopping block. We'll leave it. I won't press you on it. Good. Let me... next to there, actually. Have you fellas seen anything out of the ordinary lately? Weird how? People been getting sick? The boss looks out for our health. Any odd noises in the woods? Nothing but screech owls. Ever seen any weird animals? Strange question. We don't exactly get out much. What does this have to do with Wayne? Yeah, it's all on that front, thanks. Anything else? Thanks for the help. Don't mention it. Let's pack it in, boys. Back to work. Oh man. Did I miss my chance to talk to Isaacs? I think I did. I wonder if I can just do this. What do you guys think? It's Tabitha. Now, why would you go ask a question like that? Are you trying to insinuate something? Horrible woman. Now, fellas, it's not good besmirching the fine, gentle lady. Smith is right. She's got a lot to answer for. All right, fellas, I think we better cool it and get back to work before any of us say something we regret. You're probably right. There we go, yeah. No, it's fine. You can just ask after. Oh, yeah. Okay, we do need to press them. I really want to show that off. Kind of willing to reload, just blitz through. Oh, should save more. Yeah, I'll reload and blitz through and make a point to save a little bit more often. So I'm actually trying to show stuff now rather than just have a... I want to check out the mines at some point today. Maybe some of the miners there could tell us about Wayne. He scared the bejesus out of me. Okay. And that just establishes the mine as the thing earlier. See you in a bit, Stella. Tell Avery the whole truth. What aren't you telling us? Let's swing by the diner. Talk to Avery. Try our tea. You don't believe me. super speed. We're speed reading. Victor Max says, hello, Worm Woman. Greetings from the TLG server. Ever go there? Yes, I run the TLG server and I'm there all the time. I'm the developer of TLG. That's my Discord. If you're just tuning in, we are just catching back up to, we had to roll back a little bit. Hadn't been saving religiously. We'll do the street smart thing. And we'll lock Stella again. Oops, didn't want to do that. Yeah, was not. I forgot the golden rule, which is save early, save often. And, what are you, some sort of cop? I'm Tabitha's cousin. I'm here at the funeral. Miners straighten up, suddenly very serious. Sorry, I didn't know. I thought you were maybe one of them environmentalists, or... That's funny. They just swerve real fast, like, nope. Make sure to tell her that she's a great boss, okay? I'm Zax, and that's Davis, and this here's Harrison. And we don't know nothing about what happened to Wayne, you hear? Oh, wow, there's another... Y'all can chill out. Just since Tabitha's cousin doesn't mean I'm a snitch. Yeah, alright. That's all he gives us. It says, Grub can't give autographs. Grub doesn't know how to write. She also doesn't have hands. She can't hold a pen. I hadn't thought about quick saves. Yeah, I could just push the button. Good idea. So I met this guy on the bus. Wore a beanie and a shirt that said, I want to, yeah. He said he had some friends working the mines up here. Does this have anything to do with what's going on in town? A lot of people wear beanies. He also talked about how he used to push joggers into the Baltimore Harbor. Does that ring any bells? None. Not a clue. Yeah, I think I'd remember someone like that. Actually, that's all. Thanks. Bye. Maybe it was just me, but they seem to think Wayne was dead, right? It wasn't just you. You stop in your tracks. A shiver running up your spine as an unfortunately familiar voice calls out to you. I think we can just, ghost. Where were you while I was in the woods? Our new friend stopped by. Okay, that just means we're on the right track. Approach another group of miners. Oh, there. You feeling okay? Oh, yeah. So we had this, more than my gastrointestinal distress. I'm a human being. What if you know a man named Wayne? He has been following me. Come on, don't dangle something like that. So this time we'll just press them. Look, I just don't want to cause any trouble. Enough people are losing their jobs as it is. I got mouths to feed. Losing their jobs, and in Sam Wayne's case, disappearing. We've already said too much. Come on, boys. As the miners turn and leave, you can't help but get the feeling that Isaacs has more to say. So if you have street smart, you can do this. You can slip Isaacs your contact info. As the miners pack their things, you scribble your phone number onto a scrap of paper. Hey, thanks for the help. It was great to meet you all. Reach toward Isaacs and shake his hand, pressing your note to his palm. Don't mention it. Should we check in? Just as a heads up, the only group I still see out there is pretty close to the main office. It might be worth talking to them, but I don't know if I can give you all that much of a warning if Tabitha comes out. I'm talking to one last group of miners, and don't worry, I'll keep my eye on Tabitha's trailer. Good luck. Going around asking questions, huh? Stella wasn't kidding when she said these miners were dangerously close to Tabitha's office. You take in your surroundings, making note of any shadows you can melt into at the first sign of trouble. You don't look like you're from the inspector's office. You don't... Hold up, I don't know why I went... You don't look like you're from the inspector's office. What can you tell me about Sam Wayne? Oh, he got himself into trouble, didn't he? Why, you seen him around? What's that young buck up to? I heard from some of the other folks in camp that he had a nasty spat with an ex and disappeared not long after. Ha! You mean the boss? As far as I know, that never ended. Stella audibly gasps. Yeah, I figured he'd just run off to live in that big mansion with his belle. Thought of a strapping young man like that with a sour-faced broad always left such a bad taste in my mouth. Oh my god, gross! As if you wouldn't fall on your knees if a woman of means showed the slightest bit of interest in you. Or any woman at all. Fair enough. But I suppose this begs the question. Did she run him off, or did some jealous sumbitch oust him? Wait, are you talking about Tabitha? Yep. Dang, I figured that's what they're getting at, but it's weird to hear it out loud. You good, Stella? Yeah, I just had no idea. Have you noticed anything strange around here lately? All kinds of weird stuff happens in these hills. What sort of weird do you mean? Weird animal sightings? Saw a raccoon with a big old tumor last week. Spooked me something awful. That's nature for you. Not always pretty. That wasn't a tumor, it was an egg. There are these things in the woods laying eggs in the animals. I knew it. I knew there was something weird about that raccoon. I believe it. There's things out in them woods that no one's ever seen before. It's still all wild country, even if we've carved it into pieces. I know I, for one, ain't gonna go near them trees until some scientist folks come out and sort out whatever's going on out there. Maybe I should cash in some sick days and go see my cousins in Asheville, just to be on the safe side. People getting sick? I mean, some of the older miners, sure, but I wouldn't call that unusual. Have you heard any knocking in the mines? You asking us if we heard the Tommy knockers? Of course we have. We're old timers. All of us who were here before the machine got brought in know about the Tommy knockers. What a nuisance. Always stealing my hammers. It's true. I had a pickaxe stolen too. And when you heard knocking coming from one of the old tunnels, it was enough to make a man pray. Looks like I figured out what to do for my next video. You better not be thinking of going into those old mine shafts alone. I could always use a partner in crime. I'm gonna wind up going down there with you, aren't I? Any noises from the woods? All the time. Howling, screaming, all sorts of fiendish caterwauling. Probably just screech owls and bobcats, you old coot. Might be, might not be, but I heard something the other night that sent the fear of God shivering down my spine, I tell you. I saw the creatures that made that noise. Pale, hairless, and horribly misshapen, with little twisted up faces. The two men stare at you, a look of disquiet in their eyes. I never heard of anything like that up here. Damn, that almost sounds like a ditchling. My grandma used to tell me stories about him when I was a little kid. I guess it's not just my mom. That's all on that front. Sure. So what do you think of Tabitha? The two men shift uncomfortably. Not the kindliest woman I ever met. She runs the place all right. Tell that's all the boys she's been laying off lately. Keep going around saying that and see how long till you're one of them boys. All I have to say is a mine that's doing well doesn't go around laying off its workers for no reason. I'm not so sure any of us are going to have jobs in a few years. Tate, you're a damn fool. You're going to be next if you keep up that kind of talk. So be it, but a man needs to speak his mind sometimes. That's all. Thanks for the help. Astronomically says, I need to know why this guy is the only other person who knows about ditchlings. Who are you? Well, he's maybe in his 50s or 60s. He calls himself an old-timer. And he said his grandma told him about them. So that would have been another, 60 years ago maybe. So, like, this, it's just that they haven't been a thing for a very long time, I think. My pleasure. Mint, I think we got a problem. By the time Stella finishes her sentence, you've already ducked around a corner and out of sight. You continue back towards Stella and Kanika, moving from shadow to shadow and keeping out of sight. You're interrupted by a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of a hill. Hey, I think I just saw Rosalina. Wait, really? What is she doing here? I'm going after her. Good idea. We'll try to catch up with you. You rush over the hill and get your bearings, the sounds of active mining fading into the distance. Rosalina is nowhere to be found, but dusty footprints point toward a nearby mine. She didn't. I guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days. But the Shaw mine? That place was shut down like 100 years ago. After a collapse that killed over 100 people. And here I thought Stella was going to be the one to drag me into an abandoned coal mine. Have teens always been like this? I feel like I really missed out on my risk-taking years. I never did anything like this. Haha, yeah, I would never. Okay, maybe I've poked my head in there a few times. Well, let's get in there before someone gets hurt. Oh, you sure you want to tag along, Neeks? Mint and I can handle this on our own. Yeah, I'm sure. As much as I hate confined spaces, I'm not about to let Rosalina get hurt in there. Even if it means I have to go underground. We're just going in. We gotta spend some time with Kanika. The inside of the mine is warmer than you'd expected, the air thick and wet. The ceiling hangs much lower than you are tall, forcing you and your companions to hunch over, your legs bent in a painful squat as you begin to navigate the maze of corridors. Jesus, it's cramped down here. Does anyone else's chest feel tight? Yeah, abandoned mines are way more claustrophobic than people expect them to be, and this one's real bad. You know, because of the child miners. Or should I say the minor miners? Kanika visibly shudders. Okay, I'm not superstitious, but if there's one way to make sure you get haunted, it's cracking jokes about dead child laborers while walking on their graves. What can I say? I do my best to tempt the spirits wherever I go. I can't believe you'd come down here on purpose. Yeah, it was part of my ghost hunting phase. Jesus, Stella, the things you do for your viewers. Did you find anything? I wish. If any place was haunted in Scarlet Hollow, it would be this mine. Hands down. But all I got was dust in my lungs and a couple of false alarms. The deeper you progress into the mine, the heavier the air becomes. Coal dust hangs in thick clouds around you, even though this place was abandoned over a century ago. Stella pauses as sound rushes overhead. Oh my god, what was that? The mine's gonna collapse and we're all gonna die here, aren't we? Stella sighs longingly. That's just how wind sounds down here. You sound so disappointed. It just brings back memories of my last foray into these depths. Every time I thought I'd finally found a spooky ghost, there wound up being a very unghostly explanation. Like local wildlife, for instance. Stella turns her flashlight up towards an alcove overhead. If you have talks to animals, they just say like, what's the big idea shining the light up here? Those guys got me real good last time I was here alone. Oh my god, there are bats down here? I'm gonna get rabies, aren't I? I'm gonna get rabies and die in a mine collapse. You holding up okay, Neeks? Yeah, sorry, I'm just a little on edge. Kanika stopped mid-sentence by a thunderous knock echoing deeper in the mine. Okay, what was that? That was... I have no idea what that was. Did that sound like knocking to you guys? We should hurry and find Rosalina. Yeah, agreed. The sooner we get out of this death trap, the better. Gosh, I wonder if those sounds are the Tommy knockers. Okay, no, Tommy knockers are not real. They're not allowed to be real. Are you trying to give me a panic attack? I'd love to spend some extra time poking around down here. Maybe it's got something to do with the mystery. The three of you were interrupted by a sound, a second, much less distant sound of a can being popped open. Okay, now that wasn't Tommy knockers. It came from this way. Follow me. These kids are in so much trouble. You and Kanika follow Stella further into the mine. You breathe a sigh of relief as the tight passageways give way to a small cavern. A group of teens turns and stares at you with annoyance. What the hell are you doing in here? What are you doing in here, you creeps? Are you stalking us? Yeah, creeps. I just said that, Alexis. If I wanted an echo, I'd yell into the Grand Canyon. What are you guys doing down here? This is the most miserable place I've been in my entire life. This place isn't miserable. It's cool and rad. Who the hell are you exactly? That's Mint, Tabby's cousin. Rosalina, your dad is worried sick about you. And if you ask me, he was right to worry. Why the hell would you think hanging around an old mine would be a good idea? Is the Maxwell place not dangerous enough? Because no one usually comes in here, duh. Everyone knows if we hang out at the Maxwell place now, so we had to find a new hideout. Which you instantly found, so I guess we have to find an even more secluded place where we can just be ourselves. I can't believe your dad sent people to follow you, Rosalina. That's messed up. I think that qualifies as harassment. You're right, Becca. It is messed up. I don't need him telling me where I can be. You could at least check in so he knows you're not dead. He loves you and he worries about you. He's not really asking for that much. Don't you kids have school tomorrow anyways? It's fall break. We're not kids. Yeah. Yeah, we're teens. Are those canned strawberry margaritas? Where did you even get those? The teens avoid eye contact. Miles tries to melt into the cavern wall. Oh no, I know that isn't you, Miles. It had better not be you. Yeah, whatever. It's me. What are you even doing here? Becca's right. Sounds to me like you're stalking and harassing and all that. You're supposed to be minding the store. It's not like anyone ever comes in on Tuesdays, and Mom's there, so it's fine. I start uncomfortably around the cavern as Kanika tears into her brother. It's not fine. It's extremely not fine. Why do I always have to be the responsible one? Do you know what I could give to be as carefree as you? I left school so you would have a chance to live your life, and this is what you're doing with it? What would Dad think if he could see this? Stealing booze from the family store to dick around in an abandoned mine. Dad's dead, Kanika. But if he were here, he'd be disappointed you wound up being such a bossy jerk. Who cares if we're having canned margaritas where nobody's supposed to bother us? Come on, Miles, don't try to twist this around on your sister. You're down here drinking with kids as young as 13. That's messed up. Whatever. Hey, don't talk about us like we aren't here. Yeah, we can hear you. Alexis, don't butt in. I'm trying to make a point. We're perfectly capable of taking care of ourselves. We don't need a bunch of sad 20-somethings telling us where we can be or what we can do. Sad 20-somethings? Hey, I'm not sad. Where'd you get that idea? Running a clickbait YouTube channel where you run around in the woods chasing nothing is extremely sad. Anyway, my dad's actually a foreman at the continuous mining facility, and he says they only abandoned this area because there wasn't enough coal left. Not because it was dangerous or anything, so we can hang out here anytime we want. Becca's dad's right, though. Check how sturdy this place is. The teen with the beanie jumps up and slaps a strut on the ceiling. Oh, was that the knocking we were hearing earlier? One of these days I'll find a real Tommy knocker. Oh my god, Zane! Cut it out! Jumping up to hit stuff is extremely 8th grade. No offense, Rosalina. None taken. The other 8th graders are totally immature. Not like you, Rosalina. You're chill, and smart, too. All of you, quiet. This is serious. This isn't a question of just having fun. Miles, you could get in big trouble if anyone found out what you've done. I hope this is the first time, but it is definitely the last. Let's get out of here before there's a cave-in or someone gets tetanus. Aw, Kanika, you didn't have to end their little party. We know Rosalina's safe. We can just stick around and keep an eye on them. And we can look for ghosts while we're at it. One of us could pop out of here real quick and text Oscar to let him know that Rosalina's just out with her friends. You're just saying that seems cool, so we stopped making fun of your YouTube channel. That's not true, but I think it's okay. But I also think it's okay for teens to make bad decisions sometimes. Anyway, Rosalina isn't going anywhere. She's better off here than at home. Yeah, tell them we have to sleep, Rosalina. We've been living in the library for the past couple of weeks. Dad says we can't stay at our house. They got a hot plate and a couple of cots in one of the back rooms. It's actually a pretty sick setup. No, it isn't, Zane. Rosalina deserves better. I'm sure Oscar has a good reason for that. He's a good guy and he cares about you, Rosalina. He thinks our house is haunted. Oh. Wait, what? It's such a bullshit excuse. I bet he couldn't afford it anymore. He's just lying to you to save face. What a coward. Becca, I don't think you can, like, say that about other people's families. Isn't that, like, bullying or something? Shut up, Zane. He's got a stoned Bugs Bunny shirt on. Back up. He says it's haunted? I can't believe he didn't mention it to me. I could investigate. There's no ghost, Stella. It would be cool if there was, but Becca's right. I just wish he'd be honest with me and tell me what's really going on. It's like he doesn't think I can handle it, like I'm still a little kid. I'm not going to weigh in on this. This is between you and your dad, and the two of you should talk about it anywhere that isn't here. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, if Rosalina's house is haunted, we should break in and, like, ghostbust it or something. Sounds pretty rad to me. Whatever gets you delinquents out of this mine. Oh my god, Zane, you can't ghostbust if there is no ghost. And Rosalina lives there. She can't, like, break into her own house. There's no ghost that you know of. I bet we could figure out how to bust it if it's actually real. And if it isn't real, well, problem solved. You know, Rosalina, you could always stay over at my house until Stella ghostbusts your place. We have a finished basement with a pull-out couch. Why are we talking about this like it's a thing? It's not a thing. There's no ghost. Whether there's a ghost in Oscar's house is a question for a time when we're not in immediate danger. And to ruin everyone's fun, the answer is probably no, there's not a ghost. Now I'm going to drag my shithead brother back home, and I suggest you kids leave this empty mine before someone gets black lung or crushed by rocks or meets any one of the many terrible fates people tend to meet in abandoned mines. Kanika's interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks.
That wasn't me, I swear.
Then what was it? Come on, Stella, don't you have a whole list of perfectly natural explanations for scary mine noises? It's Tommyknockers, for sure. I know this isn't why we came down here, but we've got to check it out. Stella, do you have no sense of self-preservation? The kids clearly have no respect for Stella and Kanika's authority, and the tremors echoing around you are a perfect distraction. There is no way they're not making a break for it while the adults are fighting. You turn to see Becca and Alexis gone, and Rosalina anxiously hovering in front of a small tunnel in the cavern wall. She freezes as she locks eyes with your sharp gaze. You can sense that you've already won this battle of wills. You don't need to say anything. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna hang back. I knew you weren't cool enough to hang out with us, Rosalina. Come on, Alexis. We'll have more fun without her. Oh, all right. Are you kidding me? Rosalina, what were you thinking? What are they thinking? Somebody says, what an unlikable side to Kanika. I don't understand. What do you mean? Because she's mad that her brother stole alcohol from their store and gave it to a 13-year-old in a place that he's not supposed to be? I think Kanika's fully justified there. And moreover, it's an introduction to what they're trying to talk about with Kanika, which is about sort of the fact that she is already, before we even get to the supernatural stuff that's going on, sacrificing herself for her family. And it's one of the reasons that they have put like a black woman in that role, because that's a thing that sort of all women have to deal with, but especially black women, and especially in media, and it's a whole topic. And like, you know, 13-year-olds aren't supposed to be drinking alcohol in condemned mines. This place is extremely dangerous. Yeah, we entered the mine instead of calling Tabby because Kanika kind of prefers that you do it that way. She gets mad if you call Tabitha. Wow, Kanika, maybe if you weren't still afraid of the dark or whatever, you would have noticed him sneak off. So Miles here also has street smart. He has the trait that could have stopped them from going back there, and he just didn't. So I noticed him sneak off, and I've been zoning out the whole time we're here. Oh, hey, they must have squeezed through that child-sized tunnel. Yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. Dang, I've always wondered where that goes. I've never been able to get these hips through there. Becca shouts back from the other end of the tunnel. We are not about to let you come in here and ruin our good time. The mine is safe. I've been here 1,000,000 times. Yeah, if Becca says we're safe, then we're totally safe. And sorry, Rosalina. I'll see you tomorrow. Just whatever. Come on, Alexis. I know a cool spot this way. Okay, I think we can catch up with them if we just follow their voices. Do you want to take these 3 out of here while Mint and I track them down, Neeks? Look, I know I made a bit of a fuss about not liking this place, but I'm not about to leave you 2 alone down here. What if something bad happens and I'm not there to help? Or what if you run into something totally normal down here that you think is a ghost and I miss out on my chance to figure out what it actually is? Alright, knuckleheads. If I don't escort you 3 out of here myself, can we trust you to actually leave and go home? Yeah, sure. I'd never fit in that tunnel anyways. They have crossed a barrier that I cannot, so my time here is up. But only because Stella promised me a ghost hunt tomorrow. Whatever. I still have to do my dailies anyway, and the service down here sucks. What about you, Rosalina? Are you sure you don't mean to come along? Maybe I can help you get Becca and Alexis to leave. I think your dad would kill me. Okay. Can I at least wait outside? Okay, sure. You can wait outside for us. Just be careful, alright? Alright. Miles, Zane, and Rosalina quietly head toward the entrance. Alright, let's get this over with. Alright, let's do this. We can get coffee at Winnie's once we're all out of here. My treat. You and Kanika exchange a glance as Stella ventures forward. Kanika points earned. The Acid Saber says, I like the teenagers calling them out for being a pair of 20-year-olds going to a dangerous place as well felt justified. We only came in here because we were trying to get the kids out. That's not, like, what do you mean?
That's like blaming firefighters for a fire. That's not...
Becca, why are we doing this again? We could get in so much trouble. We're doing this because I'm not about to take life advice from a YouTuber and a dropout. Whoa, that is so uncalled for. I didn't drop out. I'm going back to vet school as soon as my family doesn't need me here. I don't know. I think Stella's kind of cool. I like that River Runner video a lot. Stella's face. Oh, come on. She doesn't even have a sponsor. What kind of a YouTuber doesn't have a sponsor? Just the 1,000-yard stare because she got called out. I mean, not yet, but I'm in talks with Meat Rice. And I make plenty from ads and donations. Yikes. Are you okay, Kanika? Yeah, I'm fine. I just can't believe we have to deal with that Becca girl slandering us while we're sticking out our necks for her. God, I hate her. Normally I'd say she's just a kid, but wow, she doesn't have the uncanny ability to go right for the jugular. Dang, Stella and Meat Rice? That's a big deal. They're on like every big podcast. Thank you. It really feels like a big step forward for the channel. I'm just glad they're not gossiping about me. Yep. Yeah, I know, they're just teens, but some of that stuff stung. Another knock closer interrupts your thoughts, followed by another. Is it just me, or is that knocking coming from the same direction as those kids? Yeah, it's not just you. I really don't like that knocking. Calm down, Alexis. It's just mind sounds. Did you see that? Why are we still down here, Becca? No, it's just a shadow. There's no reason to get freaked out. Becca, I swear I saw something. Shut up. There's nothing down here. Stop trying to scare me. I think Kanika will probably... I can't believe they're making us do this. They better get grounded when this is all said and done. At least now we're probably able to actually get them to leave. Look on the bright side, Mint. Look on the bright side, Mint. If they didn't come down here, we'd have missed out on a golden opportunity to get spooked. Did it have to be an abandoned mine, though? I'd be fine getting spooked literally anywhere else. We're getting closer. Let's keep moving. As you progress deeper into the mine, the knocking grows more frequent. It's still distant, but it's much louder than before. The tunnel ends abruptly in front of you. A century-old ladder is the only way forward. Becca, we need to leave. This isn't fun anymore. This is plenty fun. You only sing that because you want to hang out with your dorky crush. She's just an 8th grader. I knew it. I knew they were gay, but I couldn't find the evidence. I couldn't find the evidence. Now I got it. The kids are going to the mines to be gay. Becca, this isn't about Rosalina. I know you can hear that knocking. Oh, sure sounds like they're down here all right. You want to wait up here, Neeks? That climb down looks nasty. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. That ladder looks older than all of us combined. Good luck. Alright, let's do this. Stella hoists herself over the edge and begins to climb down. You walk to the ladder and climb down. Stay safe, Mint. Hey, kids. Oh, great, the adults are here. Thanks, Alexis. Real nice. Alexis, Becca isn't going to stop kicking you around until you fight back. Excuse you? I thought adults were supposed to be like anti-bullying. You can't just tell Alexis to be mean to me. No, excuse you, Becca. I don't want to be down here. I don't want to hang out with you. I just want to leave. I'm going to go do that right now. Whatever. It's not cool to be down here anymore. Not with the olds around. I'd kill to go a little deeper right now, but I guess we could count our wins and set a good example. But as Becca and Alexis move toward the ladder, the black chamber before you draws your focus. Finally, let's get the hell out of here. The voices around you, those of the teens and your companions, sound odd, distant. There is something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it. You don't hear it, but you can feel it in your chest, a desperate need to perceive and be perceived. Hey, are you alright, man? Mint, are you alright? Oh, thank God you're alive. Looked like you had a seizure or something, and then you just conked out. They're okay, Kanika. Thank God. Okay, don't move a muscle. I don't want you straining yourself while you're still recovering from whatever that was. Kanika and I are gonna get you help. We'll be back soon, I promise. You fade back out of consciousness as your companion clambers out of the pit, intent on your rescue. Clambers out of the pit. You raise up on your elbows, head still swimming from the visions, your surroundings coming back into focus. Your head throbs as the knocking continues, now magnitudes more intense than ever. The entire cavern shakes with the sound of rock fall. It's time to get out of here. You push your body to move as quickly as it can, though you're slowed down by the cramped corridors and winding passageways of the mine. The knocking is deafening now, as if someone were trying to break through the walls with fists of iron. You continue to push forward, your burning muscles giving way to pure adrenaline. Then comes the sound of splintering wood. You pick up the pace. The entrance is so close. And there it is. Freedom. You manage to squeeze through the entrance just as the walls of the mine come crashing down. Holy shit, you're okay, thank God. And everyone's accounted for. That was a surprisingly close call. You could have died in there. What did you weirdos do? Everything was fine until you adults showed up. Becca, shut up. What did you just say to me? I said you should shut up. I'm sick of your two-faced bullshit. They didn't almost get us killed down there. You did. Now you're trying to pass it off like on whoever else you can. It's a cherry on top of this whole shit show of a friendship. I'm really not in a good headspace for this conversation. I could have died in there. Why are you doing this to me? No, enough. No playing the victim this time. Being friends with Rosalina has made me realize how horrible you are to me. Friends aren't supposed to be mean to each other. Friends shouldn't be scared of each other. I never wanted to go in that stupid mine. It was your idea, and we could have died. If these grown-ups hadn't showed up, we'd have been buried alive in that stupid little tunnel drinking stupid strawberry margaritas in a can. Screw all of you. Should we go after her? No, let her have her little tantrum. Did that feel good, Alexis? Finally telling her off? Yeah, I guess. She's gonna be so mad at me. She probably won't talk to me for a week, maybe a month. Maybe the rest of my life. It's okay, Alexis. We don't need her. What do we do now? Now I drive you two home. I've already texted your parents and I'm sure they're worried sick about you. Rosalina and Alexis duck off to the side as a furious Tabitha approaches your group. I came as soon as I heard the crash. What the hell are you three doing here? Thought I told you to stay out of trouble, yet here you are at the scene of a mine collapse. How did you manage this? Tabby, come on, it's not Mint's fault. Stella's right. If this is anyone's fault, it's yours. You have an abandoned mine on your property that was barely even boarded up. It's only a matter of time until something like this happened. You're lucky no one got hurt. How dare you? It's not like I put up a big neon sign saying cool place for teens to hang. It's clearly not safe. Cool it, Tabitha. We're probably the reason no one got hurt. Fine. You're right. At least nobody died. Probably. What a heartfelt apology. Come on, guys. What's the point of arguing like this? I know it can feel cathartic to point fingers and yell, but what's going to accomplish other than bruised egos? Everyone's fine. You're right. I'm going to get my car, and then we're going back to the estate, Mint. Tabitha storms off, and you're afforded a quiet moment to catch up with Stella and Kanika. We sure dodged the bullet tonight, didn't we? Yeah, thank God you noticed them sneaking off. There was a stone carving on the wall of that pit. It gave me some sort of vision. I saw what happened to this place. Are you sure it wasn't just auto-suggestion? We talked about that mine a lot today. I don't know, Neeks. Mint had like a seizure next to a creepy stone carving. It was like something out of a movie. Doesn't mean they had an actual vision. There has to be some other explanation. Not to be flippant, but that wasn't the end of our ditchling problem, right? I think you're right. We've still got a lot of unanswered questions, too. Even more than we had this morning. And we've had a lot of questions this morning. This is all still a little too magic for me. Just because two bad things have happened doesn't mean there's a pattern. Right? Now, what happens now? Looks like Tabitha's back. I better drive these kids home. Come on, it's time to go. See you tomorrow, okay, Mint? I'd really rather you didn't. If you're gonna run around almost getting killed every night, keep my cousin out of it. Your cousin's an adult, Tabitha. They can make their own decisions. Not while they're under my roof. Come on, let's go. As if to illustrate her point, Tabitha grabs your arm, dragging you toward the car. I don't want to, like, overly antagonize Tabitha, so I'll text you when we're back. Yeah, we've completely avoided the cops so far. That's true.
Just gonna check the chat fast. I'm reading. What traits am I currently using? I've got, does it say here? Yep. We are Mint from Salem. We have Street Smart and Hot. Which Salem? That's for you to decide. Yes, you can make it to Chapter 5 without ever getting on the police's radar. If you do that and you go talk to Franklin and you tell him what you found, he just completely believes you out of hand, even about the supernatural stuff, kind of. And he's like, okay, let's go solve this crime that you found. Franklin's pretty cool. You try to keep an eye on the surrounding wilderness as she drives, wary of what might lurk behind the tree line. You and Kanika really don't seem to get along. She pushes my buttons. I like her. Good for you. She doesn't like me. At least everyone's okay. There are a lot of parents who should have kept tighter reins on their kids. I never got in any trouble like this when I was a teen, and I have Pearl Ann to thank for it. Hated it at the time, but the strictness paid off. Yeah, what am I telling you this for? You can tell me stuff. I'd like to know more about you. And about Pearl Ann, for that matter. Tabitha says nothing, mouth silently sealed as she fixes her eyes on the road ahead. Wow, we are really in hot water here. Let me load. I'm not trying to do like a totally anti-Tabby run, but we have not given her like a crumb. Yeah, at least everyone's okay. You're right, there are a lot of adults who should have done a better job tonight. Exactly. People who aren't ready to be parents shouldn't be parents. And clearly there are some parents who aren't ready. Take the librarian. There are tons of people more qualified to be parents who can't even conceive. And here he is having a kid at 19 and clearly letting her do whatever the hell she wants. So, yeah, that's the thing about Tabitha where she can't even conceive. Not fair. Do you want kids? Seems like that struck a nerve. Lots of people want kids. Tabitha doesn't like it when you apologize. But actually, I guess we want to. Sorry about today. I only have so much patience, Mint. Don't cross me again. I didn't do anything. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Your eyes wander back to the tree line as you and Tabitha sink back into silence. You once again cross the threshold into the estate, the musty stench of the decaying mansion greeting you with its undertones of mildew and wood rot. Well, this day was a lot more stressful than it needed to be, but at least nobody got hurt. I'm going to bed. I suggest you do the same. Good night, Tabitha. I'll see you in the morning. Tabitha turns and makes her way up the stairs. This is so Enoch is almost always shown with a dog. And, I have been laughing about, like, what we never found out what happened to the dog. The dog is the key to all this. Ruben Montero says she is unable to have kids due to a medical condition. We don't know that. We just know that she has tried to have kids and has not had them. So we eventually learned that she is pretty conspicuous about avoiding doctors. So it could be that she has some very minor thing that she could just take a simple medication for to conceive. It could be that there's actually nothing wrong with her and she's just been unlucky. She could have a like, you know, some kind of condition that renders her infertile. Canapau says Tabby might have had trouble conceiving because of relationship troubles. That's true, but we know that you can talk to Wayne and confirm that at least the two of them were physically intimate. So she was at least trying to get pregnant with Wayne before the bad things happened. You collapse in Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. But yeah, we learned that the other miners found her very cold, so maybe she just wasn't trying hard enough. After your time in the Shaw mine, you barely even notice the dust. Your phone buzzes on the table. Y'all, these are those things, right? Kanika sends a picture of a pair of ditchlings by the side of the road. I saw them again, too. Another picture, this time of them staring from a tree. WTF, these things are definitely not hairless monkeys or raccoons or whatever. I don't know what the hell they are. I guess there's just more than being here than the mine collapse. No way I'm sleeping tonight. Canapau says, yeah, I meant to say that people don't get pregnant immediately and that she didn't have stable, long relationships. That's correct, yeah. She was not quite at gunpoint, but like sort of out of obligation, trying to conceive with people that she wasn't very fond of. So you can imagine that perhaps the more enthusiastic attempts might have gone better, or if there was just more time. The adrenaline from this evening is finally wearing off, replaced by a creeping exhaustion that threatens to overwhelm you. Although, so Tabitha is probably pretty close to 30. The main cast, other than Oscar, don't have exact ages. Joan is in her mid-50s. Sybil is in her 60s. Oscar is, I think he's 34 or 33. I think he's 34. He's 19 plus... he's 19 plus 13, whatever that is. He's 32, okay. Younger than I thought. And then, but like Tabby is probably, because Tabby's a year older than Stella. And if, I think, so we know that she is still as older than us, and Vivian left town when she was still pregnant, and Oscar saw her, because, yeah, so you could probably work out the exact time, but I think she's pushing 30, and she's, like, maybe been trying long enough that she's able to pretty confidently say. Your limbs feel heavy, your eyelids dipping down over your eyes, even as you stare at the ominous pictures on your phone. Someone says, I get that she's likely 26 to 30 if she's 25 to 26 in 2022. What do you mean, likely 26 to 30? That... Are there many children from within the town during Tabitha trying to conceive? Infertility could be water / blanket based. Yeah, there could be like a curse on the town, making people infertile or something. That doesn't seem in keeping with everything else that's going on, but maybe it's something like Sybil tried, or... I don't know. When you close your eyes, you see the shadowy figures that gathered behind Stella in the mines. Your thoughts are drawn to the carving on the wall and the visions it imparted on you. Your eyes shoot back open, your heart pounding as the door to your room swings open. Just the cat. It's always just the cat. It's nice to see another living being, even one as unfriendly as Tabitha's cat. The comfort of her presence sets your mind at ease, and you finally slip into a deep sleep. She's sad. How do you make her cry? You have to be very good friends with her. Go ahead and drop a save. Yeah, again, I don't think there's actually a curse on the town. The only other little kid I can think of is Tulip would be in that window. No recap. Sunshine filters through the dusty windows of the estate as the dull aches of last night's activities throb in and out of focus. You manage to survive a second night in the town of Scarlet Hollow. As you pull yourself out of bed, you can feel the soot and grime of the Shaw mine still stuck to your skin. Let's take a shower. The water's hot and, surprisingly enough, clean. As steam fills your lungs and soda washes down the drain, you think about someone special. Specifically, you think about Kanika, the resident goth and one of the most level-headed and fashionable people in town. You're done here. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. Time to start your day. We're gonna text Kanika. How are things with Miles? It'll probably be a bit before you get a response. You send a photo of a pained old man. It'll probably be a bit before you get a response. Let's look on the opossum. There are two of them now. You wave down at the opossums. They look up at you. Against your better judgment, you reach out to the opossums, hands outstretched. Oh, well, it was worth a shot. Maybe now they'll leave your dresser and return to nature where they belong. You walk over to the window, fondly thinking about the pleasant view it provided you on Monday. It's the same view. Every time you see that doll, your heart skips a beat. It hasn't moved, right? I send her a photo of a creepy mascot in a grungy basement. Actually, I didn't mean to do that. I think if you do that, it gets mentioned and causes a problem if you texted them, if you slipped into both their DMs. You've done everything you wanted to up here. It's time to start your day. You enter the kitchen to find your cousin in the midst of devouring a pint of banana chocolate chunk. She isn't alone. Frou-Frou glares at you from her usual spot on the counter as a red-headed woman busies herself trying to tidy as best she can. Tabitha's gaze swivels from the woman to you, her glare intensifying. Hey Tabitha, how's it going? There was a massive mine collapse on my property last night. I can practically feel the whispers of unionization already. Tabitha takes one last spoonful of ice cream, then discards the empty container, turning to you with her trademark scowl. Let's get going. I've got an errand to run in town, and every time I've left you here alone, something terrible's wound up happening. So you're coming with me. Alright, let's go. Great. Janie, lock up when you leave, please, and don't go rearranging anything. Oh, no. As you ready to leave, Janie approaches from the far side of the kitchen. Tabitha remains between the two of you, impatiently tapping her foot. Oh, man, before you go, I heard about what happened last night. I mean, I heard it before Miss Tabitha mentioned it just now, and then I heard it again. I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry you got caught up in that. You did right by those kids, though. What a blessing, everyone getting out of that situation all right. I'd love to chat, but I'd hate to interrupt your work. I'm in town for another few days, though, if you've got time. Of course, feel free to swing by the church any old time. Daniel and I are always there, except when I'm working, of course, but Daniel's usually there regardless. All right, let's go. Bye, Janie. Be safe out there, you two. You and Tabitha walk through the front doors of the estate and into the car. The ride to town is uneventful. Your cousin unsurprisingly more focused on the road than on making conversation. Alright, we're just popping by the general store for a few minutes. After everything that's happened in the past 2 days, it's nice to just go on an errand. Exactly. You and Tabitha turn as the door to the general store bursts open. A flustered Kanika exits, shouting behind her. Fine, okay, keep coddling him. Keep letting him get away with stuff you never would have let me so much think about. I'm sick of carrying this family. Kanika storms off, the door drifting shut behind her. Yeah, other people in their drama. If more people kept things to themselves, they'd be a lot happier. I'm surprised to see her let loose like that. She seems so measured. Exactly. It's unbecoming. Come on already, let's go. The bells of the general store chime as you cross the threshold. The smells of old wood and steamy herbal tea flood your senses, making you feel instantly at home. Good morning, you two. Hope you're doing well after last night's activities. Morning. Is the new blend ready? Of course. Mint, if you'd like to keep Miles company, Tabitha and I will be just a minute. Oh, I see. You gotta fill up the old stash, huh, Tabby? Get your prescription filled, so to speak? Pick up some of the devil's lettuce? What are you talking about? Mint is implying you're here to buy marijuana, dear. What? You think I'm some kind of stoner? Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. Think what you will. Civil motions for Tabitha to follow, and they both disappear into the tea room, closing the door behind them with the tinkling of bells. You find a subtle spot near the door and listen in. The walls of the tea room are surprisingly thick, and you can only make out snippets of the conversation. I know it. Longer, short notice. Aren't easy to come by. Is there enough? Just fine. Make sure this is all. Not keeping it. You only have one. Plenty of time. Your listening session is halted as the tinkling of bells announce another patron. Or in this case, another 2 patrons. Well, if it ain't Mint. Bo, this is Miss Scarlet's cousin. They were with Stella that night in the woods. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mint. My name is Bo. I'm Duke's boy. Hope you've been faring better since all that unpleasantness. If I'm being honest, I'd almost forgotten you'd existed, Duke. No, How have you been? Are you hanging in there? Oh, I can't complain. Miss old birdie, but there's nothing I can do for her now except protect the rest of my brood. Them things won't so much as step foot on my property. Not with me and Bo, Matt, watching the perimeter with our shotguns at the ready. We even set the missus up with her pistol. Good thing we was watching. Nearly caught Julius trying to make off with Big Betty. As if he could have carried off a nearly 2,000-pound pumpkin on his own. I'd almost love to see him try. It's not like we'll be taking her to the state fair anyway. Now all she's good for is making the world's largest pumpkin pie. I don't think Mom has a tin big enough for a Big Betty-sized pie, Daddy. Big Betty's a pumpkin? Sure is. Probably would have taken home at least a few ribbons at the state fair this year. Maybe even a world record if we were lucky. Yeah, well, my hens are more important. We'll just have to grow an even bigger one next year, Daddy. Land's been good to us. We're sure growing big out on the Callaway farm. Those things we saw on Monday are apparently called ditchlings. They're supposed to be a bad omen. Ditchlings? Sounds like some old folktale. Suppose that suits them. As for being an omen, I believe that too. But I suppose there's just not much to be done if they're forewarning some kind of disaster, besides looking out for me and mine. Still, I appreciate you telling me, Mint. Seen any around your farm? Yeah, we saw a few of them critters. They got scared off before I started shooting. Nasty little buggers. We've all been losing sleep making sure we can keep an eye on things. It's even rubbing off on the hens. None of the little ladies have been laying this week. You know, Daddy, I bet some big mastiff could keep them things away. This just seems like the kind of job for a guard dog. Now don't you start again. We ain't getting a dog. I got enough mouths to feed. As much as you say you'll take responsibility, I know it'll be me cleaning up after it. Besides, I don't have much faith those things will be stopped by a dog. I saw more than a few in that nest. Julius? Julius Tremaine. He practically spits the name. Some cousin however many times removed. They don't claim him as kin. He owns the farm next door, except he doesn't seem to have a good grasp on whose property is whose. Thinks he owns half our land. Always sneaking around and taking vegetables we planted. Of course, the way he tells it, we're the ones stealing from him, saying he's the one putting the seeds in the ground. He's a miserable old cuss, and he knows it too. Stealing vegetables born on other folks' hard labor is probably the only joy he has in life. That's nice seeing you, Duke. It was a pleasure running into you, Mint, but we better get on with our shopping. Can't spend too long from the farm with those little devils running around. Can't leave Mama up by herself all by herself up there for very long. You have a good one. Hope Scarlet Hollow treats you better from now on. It's nice meeting you, Mint, and please tell Miss Scarlet I'm sorry about her mama. They shuffle off into the aisles. Tabitha and Sybil are still in the tea room. Your phone buzzes. Oh my god, hey, I overslept. Still gotta make myself breakfast if y'all want to swing by. Otherwise, meet at the library and figure out plan. I think I'm good. Not really hungry. See you guys at library. And then it buzzes again. Sliding into DMs, are we? Wink. If you want to hang out before the library thing, I'm parked at the abandoned lot by the gas station. It's hard to miss. Your phone buzzes one last time. This is Isaac's from the mine. You gave me your number yesterday. I'm out behind the diner if you want to talk. You have plenty of time before dinner at Reese's house. I'm going to drop a save right here. want to show both of these scenes. I'll do the Kanika one first, because I think the Isaacs one is what we're going to keep canon. But we'll go after Kanika real fast. You follow the directions Kanika texted you and soon find yourself in a disused parking lot behind the shuttered shops on Main Street. She's sitting alone in the back of her van, but she notices you lurking on the edge of the parking lot and waves, her troubled expression brightening into a smile. Hey, you made it. Hop on in. Sorry if this is a weird place to hang out. I'm taking a mental health day. Kinda need to get some space from the store. Plus, I feel like ass. I'm exhausted and a little out of it. Must have inhaled too much coal dust last night. You still look fine as hell. You casually wink at her. Trying to lay down the charm on me? Maybe it's working. Keep it up and see. How are you doing after last night? You know, not great. At least I was able to get some sleep once the adrenaline wore off, even if I barely feel like I got any rest at all. Now I've just got a raging headache. I hope I'm not coming down with something. So, is this baby Kanika and baby Stella? And is that Gretchen or is that a kitty? I think it's Gretchen, but I don't know who this would be. We got axolotls. So the devs have a pet axolotl. What else she got here? Before things got heated with my folks, my mom gave me some more of this tea that's supposedly good for, I don't know, recovery, rejuvenation. Must have been caffeinators, because it did not help me fall asleep. But it's kind of helping with the headache, and at least it felt good. Or at least it tastes good. What about you? Stare off into the distance. We're doing it. You stare off into the distance. Yeah, I feel ya. I'm just glad nobody got hurt last night. It was a damn miracle. The bird charm might be a Digimon, yeah. I'm sure these are all 3 anime things, and this is obviously the Luna from Sailor Moon. Sounds like you were having some sort of argument? She sighs. Yeah, family stuff. You sure you don't want me to get into it? I don't want to dump all that drama on you. Only if you're comfortable sharing. I don't want to pressure you into saying something you'd rather keep private. It would honestly be a relief to talk about with someone. Thanks, Mint. Especially since you were there last night. You know how it felt to survive something like that unscathed. So after I got home last night, I had to deal with my brother. He really made me feel like I was the bad guy, especially once we got home. Like the whole mind collapse was my fault. This was, we were just dealing with this in chat. And Mom didn't help. She never does. She always takes his side, saying he's young and allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes that I would never dream of getting away with. When we told her what happened, she just says the same shit she always says about family and getting along and sent us to bed with tea. Her favorite method of conflict resolution. As if a little hot leaf water ever really helped anybody. Your fault, that's rich, right? Kind of boiled over this morning, though. She wound up blaming me for letting Miles sneak off into the mines, saying that if I'd been working like I was supposed to, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble. Like I'm supposed to be in charge of a sullen teenager every second of the day, while working. It's not like I don't care. I'm always stressing out about the kid or the store or a million other little things I'm supposed to deal with. None of this should be on me. These are the best years of my life, and I'm wasting them in this dying town, keeping a store afloat while my mom just messes around with her little herbs or whatever. I'd made it out of here, damn it. I'd gotten into grad school. I was good at it. I was going to graduate with honors and everything. But Dad died, and I came back for the funeral, and then I had to stick around just to help Mom sort out a few things. First it was a month, and then 2. So if she got into grad school, if she graduated, yeah, so she'd be at least like 22, 23. Oh, but it's been a year, so yeah, 23, 24 at least. And now here I am, over a year later, and those few things became my life. I don't want to be this person. If I could, I'd just drive the van all the way to the coast, lie down on the beach, and never come back. What about Stella and Reese? Look, when it comes to Reese, I love the dude, but I haven't seen him in person in a long time. Hardly a reason to stay here. Stella, though. She was so happy when I came back. I mean, she was upset about the circumstances, but she'd missed me so much. And I just haven't made time for her. I know she understands why, but I'd feel awful just driving off and leaving things like this. Do it. Just get out of here. Take me with you. Kanika's quiet for a moment, staring at the overgrown parking lot. Maybe tomorrow. Stella made all those ghost hunting plans. I can't just skip out on her like that. But yeah, tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. And yeah, you can come with. God, of course I feel like an asshole for talking about all this now, the morning after a mine collapse. But I guess that's what pushed this all over the edge. Nothing like a major disaster to make you question the direction your life has taken, right? I would have met you if you hadn't stuck around. It's not all bad. Oh, you're right. I guess some good things can come from messed up situations. But I've already met you. More reason for us to leave tomorrow, I guess. Are we still going over to Reese's place today? Oh right, with everything that's going on, I almost forgot. Yeah, I think it's around 4. Here's hoping he's still up for it. I'm dying to know what he's been up to in that little dungeon room of his. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried about the guy, even with everything else that's been going on. I don't trust his mom. I don't either. Things just don't add up with the two of them. I hope he lives up to the hype. Go easy on the dude. He's a little shy, so I don't expect him to blow you away with the sheer force of his charisma. His art does a lot of the talking for him. What kind of art does he do? Really dark stuff. It's good, though. The guy's terrible about getting it out there. Not that I blame him, but it's the sort of stuff that'll blow up the second he dies. Which hopefully won't be for a very long time. Sorry to get a little macabre. You remain silent. So ghost hunting tonight. That's why I'm still here, right? So I'm still pretty sure there are no such things as ghosts, but I'm starting to lose a little bit of that conviction. After last night, and after seeing those ditch things in the road, Kanika visibly shudders. Here's hoping it's just the pipes or something. I don't need to see any more supernatural shit this week. I'm just looking forward to helping Oscar feel safe in his house. Whether there's a ghost or not, I want to help him and Rosalina feel comfortable moving back in. Same here. That poor kid. I just hope this hasn't been too traumatic for her. We'll share a quiet moment. A soft breeze blows across the lot as you and Kanika share a quiet moment. Both of your phones buzz in unison. You reach for them at the same time. Almost forgot, it's Mayor Jimmy Day. Good excuse to head over to the library. We should check in with Oscar and Rosalina. Meet y'all there in half an hour. Wow, I totally blanked on the Mayor Jimmy thing. It's almost like we just went through a traumatic event or something and I'm not on top of my schedule. But Stella's right. This gives us a chance to meet up with Oscar, and Mayor Jimmy's awful cute. No, the mayor just ruined our moment. I'm gonna have words with him. I don't think he'll be very receptive. Doesn't really matter though. There's plenty of time for us to have another moment later. Anyway, I'll just chill with Mayor Jimmy, go to Reese's for dinner, and then do some ghost hunting night. Thank God we have so much going on today. I really needed the distraction. And thanks for letting me vent earlier. It helped. Shall we? So I will save that in case we need this save to do the romance route, but I do want to show off Isaac's stuff. You probably have time to slip off and hear what Isaac has to say before Tabitha even knows that you're gone. You hold the bells on the door to the general store, quieting them while you make a silent exit. You find Isaac smoking out by the dumpsters behind Winnie's diner. I thought you weren't going to show. Here I am. Listen, I don't have a lot of time to talk, especially with you. The guys are all riled up after last night. They're talking action. If they saw me out here with you, they'd think I was some kind of scab. But none of them will listen to me, especially now. They've all got bigger things to worry about than a single missing minor. Looking for fun stuff in this scene. I don't see Wayne, and I don't see anything cool. I haven't forgotten about him, though. Anything you want to know, just ask. So Tabitha was dating an employee? Yeah, wasn't the first time either. I knew some of the other fellas she dated. They said she was the coldest woman they'd ever met. Had a habit of dropping him a few months in before picking up the next poor son of a bitch who fell for her wiles. I guess us cold boys are pretty desperate, especially when a woman of means like that approaches you. You never know if you're going to be the one who lucks out and locks down that old family wealth. Guess Wayne wasn't lucky. Did anything happen to him at the mines? Find any weird stuff? Uncover anything that wasn't meant to be uncovered? No, I don't think so. The few shifts he was picking up were all above ground, mostly operating machinery. Pretty cushy stuff, to be honest. What was he like? He was a lighthearted kind of guy, always joking around on the job. Amazing fella to grab beers with. Not keen on doing hard work, so it wasn't too strange when he barely picked up any shifts once that relationship started. I'm sure he saw her as a bit of a meal ticket, so maybe he wasn't too smart. But he was a good friend. Closest one I had. What kind of action are people talking? Isaac glances around nervously. They're talking about a strike, but you didn't hear it from me. I told you yesterday that your friend isn't missing. But why wouldn't he come tell me he's alright? Where's he staying? What is he hiding from everybody? It just doesn't sound like him. I'm not sure the man you think is Wayne is really him. Did he have a condition of some kind? A medical condition? No, he was fit as a fiddle. Built like a brick house, too. Why would he be following me? Damned if I know. I didn't even know you existed until yesterday. I suppose Tabitha could have told him about you, so maybe he's trying to get to someone else, to get to someone close to his ex. Seems like a pathetic move to me, but relationships change people. Maybe even a man like Wayne could be broken by someone like her. Do you think Tabitha did something to him? Yes, I do. That, or maybe Pearl Ann. I don't know what that would be, but something happened up at that house. The week it went down, everyone was so up in arms about Miss Pearl Ann's death, almost nobody cared about the fact that some transplant minor had gone missing. Do you know how Pearl Ann died? I heard it was natural causes. Died in her sleep. She was old and a smoker. Figured her lungs finally gave up on her. Isaac sighs, taking one last long drag of his cigarette. I appreciate you coming by to talk. I can't seem happy with what you've told me, but I'm glad someone else is looking. I'm glad somebody's looking into this. Let's see if the other questions have anything interesting. Do you have any theories? I figured he was dead. I guess I'm not so sure that you say you've seen him. But sure, you could say I got a couple of theories. Maybe Tabitha tried to break it off. He didn't take it well and it ended in him getting offed. Or an ex of hers got involved and offed him out of jealousy. Could be he stole his jacket and that's who you've been seeing. I hope he's just wandering around like you say, but I'm not convinced. Okay. So it seems like everybody else was happy to sweep it under the rug. Isaac tosses his cigarette, but it goes without saying, you better not go telling anyone we talked. And if you see him, or whoever it is pretending to be him, tell him his buddy's worried about him, alright? Isaac heads back inside, and you find yourself alone once again. Oh, we can go from Isaac's to Kanika. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought that was what, We are not strike breaking on Kanika's romance. Okay, I'll just go through this again real fast. Oh, I wonder what if I can tell her about the strike. Maybe I shouldn't, because she might be like, don't go telling people about that. Hi, kitty. Grub is here. Grub is here for her midstream cameo. Hi. So ghost hunting tonight, yeah. Thought you were a skeptic. You seem a lot more open about the supernatural than you were yesterday. A true skeptic is also skeptical of their own biases and always ready to admit when they're wrong. I'm going in with an open mind. Besides, I've always wanted to believe in magic. Like back when we were kids and still making videos together, I was embarrassingly into it. There are probably still videos on YouTube of middle school me genuinely trying to transform into a Sailor Scout. Please don't look them up.
thought that if magic was real and I figured out how to use it, I'd actually be able to leave this town. Kanika stares at the ground, embarrassed. I just wanted to get isekai'd, you know? I guess being good at school was enough to make that happen in its own way, even if I wound up stuck in the same hole I managed to dig myself out of. We got Mayor Jimmy. Let's go to the library. Oh god. Let me... I got too comfortable pushing the skip button. You and Kanika make your way to the library. It's busier than usual, and a small crowd has formed in the corner of the main foyer. Yes, the whole gang's here. I've been waiting to introduce Mint to the mayor for like the entire time I've known them. I've never gotten to introduce someone to the mayor before. It'll be worth it. Trust us. Alright, shall we? He's a dog. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. You haven't met the serious man by his side, but you have to assume that he's the mayor's handler. He holds out his paws as if to shake your hand. He's so cute! He's the mayor. Right? It's the best part of living in Scarlet Hollow, besides the nature. And all my friends and Winnie Space Kids. Oh, and the close-knit small town community, of course. But having a dog mayor is a close fifth. No contest. Alright, you've had your turn with the mayor. Now move along and keep the line going. Stella and Kanika quietly shuffle out of the room ahead of you, leaving you to follow. Or quickly. It looks like everyone else is talking to Oscar in the next room. Before you can catch up to your companions, you're intercepted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Whoever he is, you can feel his desperation to make a good first impression. A self-sustained and self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Mint? Everyone's been buzzing about you. So sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. We both know Pearl Ann's in hell. Oh, I'm sure she wasn't that bad. Most people are good deep down inside. It's best not to speak ill of the dead. Hey, anything about ghosts? Ghosts? I never encountered one myself, but I've heard stories of folks who've been visited by their loved ones from beyond the grave, and it seems like it provides them with a sort of spiritual healing. Like their beloved relatives watching over them, even in death. Is this about Pearl Ann, or perhaps your mother? Have you been visited by her? No, Oscar's place is haunted. Oh, like a Scooby-Doo episode or something? I'm afraid I don't buy into that particular notion. It's a bit too spiritualist. Now, if it were a vision of one of his parents trying to contact him from heaven, I could understand that. But I simply don't believe in malicious spirits, lingering neither in heaven nor hell, jumping out of closets to scare us. I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for whatever it is he saw. Now you should come ghost hunting with us tonight then, and prove it's not a haunting. The blood drains from his face as he gulps nervously. Oh, I promised my daughter we would watch VeggieTales tonight, so I'm afraid I have plans. But let me know if you see anything strange. I'd love to hear of your account of this supposed haunting. In fact, here's my card. He hands you a business card. Call me if you need me. I should go. It was nice meeting you, though. Of course. And if you find yourself in need of counseling or spiritual guidance, you know where to find me. That sounds lovely. Thank you. Really? Oh, that's great. Sorry, I just don't usually get positive responses when I ask folks if they want to come to the church. Anytime that works for you, just swing by. I'm sure I'll be around. It was lovely to meet you, and you have a blessed day, Mint. The pastor leaves you to be and joins the line to see the mayor. Nothing to do now but catch up with your companions. If you like to talk to tomatoes. If a squash can make you smile. If you like to walk with potatoes up and down the grocery aisle, have we got a show for you? I had to go to Jesus school when I was small. You find them already talking to Oscar deeper in the library. Are you sure we can't just get it over with while the sun is up? I don't know if I can handle getting scared shitless in the dark 2 nights in a row. I wish we could, especially since I'm not particularly excited about going back in there after dark either, but I'm pretty sure it only comes out when the sun goes down. I can't bring myself to be mean to Pastor Daniel. I'm sure in Chapter 6 we'll find out that he's like a monster somehow. But until then... Grub, why are you crying? Grub is doing the tiniest meows. I don't know if you guys can hear them. I wonder if I can get her to hear the purring. Grub. Oh, baby. I love Grub. So I think what's happening with Pastor Daniel is that he is cursed somehow. I think the creatures that are living in the church that we will learn about, or perhaps just the stone there or something, is messing with him, and it's that the entity there doesn't like him because Enoch tried to because the pastor that was around when Enoch was like placing the stones was kind of opposed to the whole project, and so Enoch had to like go behind his back and Grub, what do you want? Why are you crying so much? Why are you such a little baby? You're acting like you didn't just bite me and send me to the doctor the other day. Boop your nose. Boop your nose. Yeah, there's no way I'm going in until that spirit is at full power. I want to be sure we get the best evidence possible. This could be my one shot to get real proof of ghosts. I'm not going to waste it just because I'm impatient. Y'all are going to be the death of me. I just hope it's possible to get rid of this thing. This is a pretty serious ghost infestation. Is that what you call something like this? I believe it's called a haunting, but ghost infestation also sounds good. I suppose we're the ghost hunters, so we can call it whatever we want. Anyways, I'll be bringing all the ghost hunting supplies anyone could ever need, so we should be set on preparations. The only thing y'all need to bring is an open mind. After last night, I don't think that's going to be a problem. We have the power of friendship on our side. Heck yeah, we do. If anime has taught me anything, it's that the power of friendship is unstoppable. That's a lovely sentiment. I'm sure Rosalina will be at least glad to know you all did your best to help her. Well, if we're not doing the hunt now, I guess we should head over to Reese's. Also, if Rosalina loses her foot, there's a very funny scene if you go to visit Oscar this morning rather than when we just visited Kanika. There's a very funny scene where he's doing a video call with her. Absolutely. Come on, Mint. Let's go bother our... time to go bother our friend. I'm gonna get back to it. See y'all tonight. Time to go. Should we invite Avery ghost hunting? Oh, huh. Sure, I guess. The more the merrier, right? Maybe there'll be an extra voice of reason. We won't be much help to Oscar if we start jumping in our own shadows. Cool. I'll text him on the way over to Reese's. So, I finally met Pastor Daniel. It was only a matter of time before he tried to pull you aside about grief counseling. When my dad died, I had to ban him from the general store for a week. He wouldn't stop leaving these little pamphlets at the checkout. I don't know where he finds so many. I think he just really wants people to like him, but he comes off as desperate. It's a vicious cycle. Oh, when you put it like that, his whole situation's kind of sad. Even if that's the case, it doesn't mean I have to like him. Whatever his deal is goes a step beyond trying too hard to get people to like him. The man was grinning through all of my dad's funeral. He is not normal. And I don't mean that in a stigmatizing mental illness kind of way. There's just this little siren that goes off every time I see him and it tells me to get away from him. That's exactly how I would describe it too. The whole town feels the same way. Now that I think about it, he must get pretty lonely. He can look for friends somewhere else. So... I think we will not invite Tabitha.
Because Kanika really doesn't like that. And some other stuff happens if we don't invite Tabitha. The three of you leave the library for an early dinner at Reese's. You once again find yourself in front of Reese's house. A cold hesitation grips you as the building looms over the hilltop. Is Wayne here? Wayne's not here, is he? And whenever Wayne's not on the screen, everybody should be asking, where's Wayne? Though it's only early afternoon, it feels much later, the sun already sinking behind the tall mountains that surround Scarlet Hollow. We're a little early. What if Dr. Kelly yells at us? There's no such thing as early when you're hanging out with friends. That's just extra time you get to spend together. Okay, but what if she yells at us? It's too late. The door swings open. Hey, Reese! Oh my god, dude, it's been ages. You must be Mint, right? I heard a lot about you. Stella's been relentless about making sure I got all the Mint updates. I forgot about worm updates. Are they here already? I knew you'd show up early, Stella, and don't say it was to help me cook. But I make an excellent sous chef. Let's just get this over with. The house feels cold. Not only is there an odd chill in the air, but the building itself feels too sterile, uncomfortably tidy to the point where you're nervous to touch anything. I pointed this out last time. She's actually got Reese's art up on the walls. Like, you wouldn't... It's incongruous enough in this space that you wouldn't do it unless you really, like... Grog, get out. You're pathetic. Got some water. Like, just the... It's just such a small thing, but the fact that, like, obviously she's not into this, like, horrifying art, and it doesn't fit the clinic, like, the visitors aren't going to want to see this, but she still, like, goes up and puts it there anyway, because she's just, you know. Also, the thing I was talking about, where she looks exactly like Reese. And you might say, like, oh, well, you know, he's her kid. No, she looks exactly like Reese. Like, every, like, you know, other than age and gender, and the fact that she's a little bit more tanned because she gets to go outside, like, everything about them is the same. You know, exact cheekbones. And you might say, like, oh, well, that's like, you know, the family resemblance or whatever, but nobody else in the game is like that. We can see Stella's parents on her wall. Her dad was like a big guy with a beard, and like her mom was like little. Obviously Kanika doesn't look like Sybil, and she doesn't look much like her dad either. So, like, I really think we will learn that Reese's his parentage is a little unusual, but I think what the game is telling us here is that the only human DNA this kid has is from her, and so that's the only, like, you know, that's, if you got exactly the same genes, what are you going to come up with? If it weren't for the aroma of store-bought dinner rolls baking in the oven and the unsettling artwork hanging on the walls, oops, you'd be half convinced you just wandered into a real estate showing. So, how can I lend a hand? By sitting down at the table and not puttering around in my kitchen. I made sure everything was done well in advance. The only thing left are the rolls, which shouldn't be long. It's neither parthenogenesis nor a clone, but it would be... but it would be something similar. I mean... And obviously it's your father who determines your gender. So like, there's something here. Like, there's no Y chromosomes in human eggs. But that's interesting. Then we can have a quick dinner and you can leave my house, go on about your business. No, I don't mean the genealogic tree is twisted. I'm kind of talking about stuff that hasn't happened in this run yet. But Reese's dad Reese's parentage is sort of a magical situation. We still have time now, right? You aren't seriously considering subjecting your friends to your disaster of a room, are you? It's not that bad. You can still see the floor. Dr. Kelly raises a single questioning eyebrow. I don't mind a little mess. Yeah, I doubt it could be any worse than the way I keep my room. Okay, fine. As long as you stay out of the kitchen, I don't care what you get up to. Cool. We'll just be downstairs. You won't even know we're here. You make your way toward the basement stairs. The basement is what you might expect out of a tortured artist who spends all of his time confined to his studio. Discarded canvases line its edges, while trash and sketches leak out from their piles in the corners of the room, hiding the bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering at their creator. Oh, and I brought that up because, remember that, we are told that we look exactly like Vivian. So I think there's an intentional parallel being drawn there. Also, you can see there's a shadowy figure that looks sort of like Wayne here, with the eyes. There are, in addition to all like the bodies coming apart kind of things, there are like there's a person who looks like Reese, and there's something outside the window that is shaped like a sort of a lightning bolt with eyes. You can see the same creature over here coming in through a window. Here it is again. Your mom is so scary. Yeah, she can be a little intense, kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, make yourselves comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately. Haven't been cleaning much. So, this line is really funny. If you ever need a model, I'm here till Monday. If you've flirted with Stella at all, and I think it's if you flirted with Stella, she goes like, "Oh yeah, we should all go. We should make it like a fun event." And Kanika's like, Stella. Unfortunately, the prison we're dealing with here is my body, not my room. Lightning bolt is probably the entity, right? Yeah, it definitely is. You sure there's nothing we can do? Your company's plenty. It's so nice to have living people down here for a change. You know we'd visit you more if your mom let us. Did she tell you she turned us away yesterday? She said we couldn't even talk to you. It's a little controlling. You came by yesterday? She didn't tell me, but I was probably asleep, that's all. She didn't want to wake me up. I don't think that's her being controlling or anything. Not to cast any doubt on that, but she did say I couldn't bring you any food. She knows that's how I show my friends how much I appreciate them, and she knows I can work around all kinds of allergies and intolerances. Not gonna lie, it felt weird. I don't know if I've seen that line from Stella before. Because normally Stella is very supportive of Joan. I don't know, my body's pretty particular when it comes to food. She just prefers to have full control over what I eat, so... okay, maybe that does sound controlling. But it's for a good reason. If I eat the wrong thing, it could really mess me up, so she has to regulate my food. Stella told you about everything that's happened the last couple of days? Every detail. I wish I could see some of it myself, but, you know. He gestures in futility toward the walls of the basement. Are you sure you can't just sneak out one of these nights? The doc isn't keeping me prisoner here, Stella. I'm sick, you know that. I'm sorry, man, I didn't mean to... There's nothing to apologize for, and I appreciate the effort, really, I do. There's just nothing you can really rescue me from. That die's already been cast. But we were talking about the past couple of days, weren't we? Do you have any thoughts on the ditchlings we've been seeing? Yeah, they've been coming up to my window at night. Wait, really? Is that why you texted me? Why they looked like something out of your... That they looked like something out of your nightmares? Yeah, I thought I was hallucinating. I hadn't put it together that we might have been seeing the same thing until just now. I've been sketching them, actually. Tell me what you think. He pulls out a sketchbook from one of the piles in his room. Okay, that's exactly what I saw on my ride home last night. What does it mean that they've been lurking around here, though? I don't know, but I like the company. They're kind of beautiful in a sad way, if you ask me. I agree to disagree with you there. Those things are going to be stuck in my nightmares until the day I die. What do you think's going on with Wayne? Who? You know, that guy's been following Mints around, being all ominous. Oh yeah, that slasher creep. I appreciate the classic Jason vibe he has going on. He's hoping he doesn't live up to the look, for all our sakes. And do you think the town is doomed? I think everything is probably doomed at some point, but I guess that's answering a different question. Do I think the town of Scarlet Hollow is on the brink of collapse? Probably not, but it's not like I have a lot of perspective on what it's like out there. There could be rioting on Main Street, and if Stella the doc didn't tell me, I just wouldn't know. I would totally tell you if there was a riot. Would Dr. Kelly tell you, though? I mean, yeah, I'd hope so, but the point I'm trying to make is that other people are my eyes out there. What do you think of my cousin? She was always so distant and mean. I probably would have thought that she had it out for me personally if she wasn't like that toward everyone, or if I thought that she even knew my name. But people change. Maybe she's nicer now. She's still terrible. You guys just never took the chance to get to know her. She's actually really funny and sweet. I'll pass, thanks. Your eye. It's exquisite. Thank you, Mint. I don't really make my art for other people, so it's always a nice surprise when it resonates with someone, especially considering how personal these pieces are to me. Having other people look at them sometimes feels like I'm having them look over a raw wound. You know, I still got that painting I stole from you back in high school. I even took it to college with me. You make good stuff, dude. Oh no, you should get rid of that old thing. It's ancient. Knowing there are people out there who might see something I made in high school is horrifying. No way, it's rad, and people compliment it all the time. You could gain a real following if you ever posted those online, you know? I think I'm okay sticking to sparsely populated late-night live streams. That's all the social media I can handle. I don't know how you do it, Stella, having to exist in front of all those people all the time. Knowing some version of you lives in their heads, knowing they expect something out of you that you might not be able to give them. Okay, but if the only time you ever put your art on display is a live stream during ghoul hours, when am I going to be able to see what you've been working on? Tell you what, when I die, I'll leave you my paintings. Then you can see them all. And maybe they'll be worth millions, since I'll be dead. I'll be able to rest easy knowing someone had retroactively given my life value. Want to come ghost hunting with us tonight? Oh wow, do you think you'd be down for that? We'd love to have you. That would be so amazing. But I haven't had the best luck leaving the house lately. Even just walking to town is enough to put me in bed for a week. It sucks. But make sure you bring your camera, Stella. I want to see everything that happens. No, your whole situation's gotta be rough. Sorry. Thanks, but I've been dealing with this thing for a while, so you don't have to feel sorry for me. I've come to terms with the way the rest of my life is gonna be. You're so macabre, Reese. You make it sound like you've been sentenced to death. You haven't, right? Not exactly. Nobody really knows what's wrong with me, but it's been getting worse. I can barely keep most food down, my skin always itches like there are worms crawling underneath it. I could live for a long time or a short time, no one's sure. But I'm definitely not going to get better. Whatever time I have left is going to be miserable. So I've done my mourning. My best years behind me, my future's unknowable, but one day I'll wind up in a pine box, just like everyone else, and I'm okay with that. Damn, Reese, I may be a goth, but that's some real nihilistic shit. We'll make sure to come by here more often from here on out. Friendship heals all wounds, right? Thanks, guys, but you really shouldn't worry about me. I have my art, I'm doing fine, really. Ah, true. We'll all join the worms one day. We've just got to make the best of what we got. See? Mint gets me. Stella, maybe it was a mistake to get these two together. It's quite a movie collection you got. Got any recs? Let me think. Oh, have you heard of Shi-no-Chi? Deathblood? Saw that for the first time recently and it blew me away. Excellent example of both Japanese horror and found footage done right. Maybe we could do a movie night later this week. Oh my god, yes, we haven't had a movie night in years. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? You free to go way back, huh? Almost to the womb, the school here's a tiny K-12. Not exactly a one-room schoolhouse, but not far from it. We're lucky we all got along as much as we did. Some kids weren't able to make any friends their own age. They just happened to be born around the same time as some real jerks, and were stuck with them through their whole school career. Poor kids. Not that we were free of dealing with jerks, like a certain Scarlet I could name. Okay, she was a little rough around the edges, but she was pretty friendly once she got past that. Maybe to you. The way she's looking at me, you'd think I'd rolled in something foul every morning before school. Same here, but to be fair, the feeling was more mutual between us. She deserved it, though. Yeah, dinner's gotta be ready by now, right? Almost on cue, Reese's mom shouts from the kitchen. Dinner's on the table! Guess that's it for catching up. Make sure y'all wash your hands. With soap. I don't want anyone sharing their germs. Sure thing, Doc. No use saying anything here. It's probably best to just silently comply. You make your way toward the sink, but are stopped in your tracks by the pull of an odd door at the end of the hallway. I just want to point out his very funny high school portrait. probably a young Joan. Happy Valentine's Day with a real heart. This cool rose thing that I'm sure Kanika would think was the coolest thing on earth. It feels out of place, like you've accidentally wandered into a different, older house. But more than that, you feel something radiating out from behind it, something dark and cold. Something that reminds you of the dusty tunnels you narrowly escaped last night. An oppressive hum just beyond your hearing fills the air, and you feel strange. You're compelled to approach the door, drawn in as if hypnotized. So last time we had mystical so we could break away, but now we don't. Before you know it, the doorknob is turning in your hand, your heart full of both deep dread and a compulsive need to know what might be on the other side. What do you think you're doing? Well, I'm just cleaning this doorknob. Dr. Kelly narrows her eyes with suspicion. Worry less about cleaning my doorknobs and more about cleaning your hands. Come on, everyone's waiting for you. You won't let her interrupt you. You need to know what's behind the door. Oh, no, you don't. Come on, wash your hands and sit down. You do as she says, cleaning up under her watchful eyes and allowing yourself to be ushered back to the table and away from the door. Dinner's already laid out. Dinner rolls, spaghetti, and a light salad. Kanika anxiously picks at her food. Stella's nervously talkative, and Reese is suddenly quiet and tense, his shoulders tight as his mother perches on the chair next to his. Dr. Kelly eyes all of you with a sharp, fierce gaze. She sits opposite you at the far head of the table, her features silhouetted against the light of the setting sun in the window behind her. Given her protectiveness toward Reese, you find it odd that she's seated between the two of you rather than the other way around. It's almost as though she's guarded, not only toward you and Stella and Kanika, but also toward her son as well. Pills. She slides a few tablets toward Reese. He obediently swallows them. This is excellent, Dr. Kelly. Is the pasta sauce homemade? No, it's from a jar. I work too many hours to make my own pasta sauce. Well, you have excellent taste in brands, and if you ever want any tips on easy home-cooked pasta sauces, you know... No thanks, Stella. I have the internet if I need recipes. Thanks again for having us, Dr. Kelly. We really appreciate it. Someone said, and I wonder if Sybil's power being water-based is connected to the first crisis she averted with the flood. Maybe, but it sounds like she was magical before that. Although now I'm not sure. Maybe it's just that the first daughter was magical. I don't know. You were asleep. I didn't want them to wake you up. But you could have told me. Why? They were coming over today anyway. I would just rather know these things. Noted. Noted, but she won't do anything about it. Her son will remain in the dark. I love that this is the first fucking thing you can say. How well do you know Tabitha? Not very. I'd know her a lot better if your family didn't seem to be so afraid of doctors. I can count on one hand the number of times she's been in my office. No wonder everyone but that old Edwardine died so young. Hopefully your mother was better about taking you to doctor's visits. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something genetic at play, and it's much better to catch these things early. Let's discuss the danger. Have you seen any sick animals lately? I'm a doctor, not a vet. Didn't someone come in with a sick cow last week? Yes, but it's not like I examined the thing. I told them what I just told you and sent them on their way. You said it had lumps. Sure, it had lumps, but I assumed it was suffering from some cow disease. It's not something I've done much research on, so I don't know if it's normal, how normal it is for a cow to be covered in lumps. Doesn't that sound like ditchlings? Are no farm animals safe from their devious clutches? Dr. Kelly, in Stella's footage, it looked like there was something pupating inside one of Duke's chickens. I bet those were the lumps on the cow. You really should have taken a look. You could have made discoveries previously unknown to the scientific world. Or I could have spread some new horrible disease to my chronically ill son. I'll leave these discoveries to someone else. You can feel the tension at the table start to rise. See any weird hairless creatures scurrying around the woods at night? I don't tend to go wandering the woods after dark, so no. You don't have to go all the way to the woods. They've been coming to our windows at night. What? Yeah, these things called ditchlings. They've been preying on the local wildlife, and Mint and I found a whole nest of them the other night when we... Oh, I see. They're one of your little cryptozoological creatures. I know it sounds pretty out there, but I've seen these things in person. We're not messing around. They're out there, laying eggs in animals and doing God knows what else. And here I thought you finally managed to get an even head on your shoulders, Kanika. Seems like Stella might have been a bad influence on you. I know her little stories can be convincing, but that's only because she's managed to so thoroughly convince herself. She's not making up stories. Neither is Kanika, neither am I. All you have to do is look outside after dark. There've been more every night. They're all pale and doughy, and their faces are like sculptures of humans that didn't set right. I see. You stay up too late painting your grisly faces, so you've started to see them everywhere. I'm sure whatever's outside is just raccoons. Stop. Stop doubting everything I say. Stop trying to rewrite things to fit what you think should be true. There's weird shit going down in Scarlet Hollow, whether you want to face it or not. The more you talk, the less you feel like you're having a conversation, and the more you feel like you're treading on eggshells. Do you know Sam Wayne? Sam Wayne. Dr. Kelly takes a moment to think. No. Doesn't ring a bell? Someone you know? Someone who's been following Mintz around. Super mysterious guy. We have reason to believe he might have caught some kind of weird illness at the mines. He definitely looks like he could use medical help, so please let us know if he shows up or anything. If there's someone harassing you, you should get the police involved. This isn't any of my business. Has anyone come in suffering from hallucinations? I'm not at liberty to discuss private medical information. Are you sure? Not even a little bit? It could help our investigation into the strange goings-on. It's not like you have to name names. Investigate into what, the mine collapse? You little ghouls? I think this is best left to professionals, Stella, not someone who runs around in the woods with a camcorder. We saw some stuff down in the mines last night that I can't really explain, Dr. Kelly. Maybe if we knew there were any miners suffering from hallucinations, we could at least rule it out as a gas leak, but you were in an abandoned coal mine. The chances that you were huffing something dangerous and hallucinatory are through the roof. Leave it at that and treat it as the accident it was, not like some kind of mystery to unravel. I love this hot option. I'm kind of purposefully pushing her buttons here. Do you think Reese might feel better if he got to see people more often? No. I'm his doctor and his mother. You are someone who met him for the first time less than half an hour ago. One of us is a little more qualified to make decisions about his life. You know, Doc, I feel pretty okay. I mean, as okay as I usually do, so it's still kind of shitty. But I don't think having people over has been as rough on my health as you thought it might be. It's been really nice. Hear that? Reese can hang out with friends again. If you're still feeling okay after dinner, maybe you can even come ghost hunting. Ow, jeez, Kanika, what was that for? Don't push it, Stella. Just say that next time instead of kicking me. Your boots are heavy. Sorry, Dr. Kelly. We are totally respectful of Reese's boundaries, even though they might seem a little arbitrary and strict. They're not arbitrary. The rules are in place for a good reason. Tell me how great you feel in an hour when the exhaustion catches up to you, Reese. You'll be knocked out all evening and regretting every minute of this. Let me assure you. As if I'd regret being able to see people for the first time in months. I don't care what happens. It was worth it. The tension at the dinner table reaches a breaking point. Alright, that's enough. Dr. Kelly is interrupted by Reese before she can finish her thought. So we were talking about maybe watching a movie sometime this week while Mint is still in town. We'll have to see how you're feeling. I can handle a movie, Doc. Yeah, we'll just sit downstairs in the dark. Reese is used to that. I'm sure I'll be okay. You're always overestimating how much you're able to do, Reese. This is why you keep getting sick. If I get sick, so what? It's not like that's ever gonna change. I'm sick every day and I'm not getting better. I don't want to spend the last few miserable years of my life holed up in the basement alone just because seeing my friends has been deemed too strenuous. I'm an adult, for God's sake. I can't believe I have to ask for permission from my mom just to have friends over. Reese stops mid-sentence, wincing in pain and wrapping himself in his arms. Don't say things like that. I'm doing everything I can to try and fix... Silence as Dr. Kelly's eyes shoot open. Reese? Reese? Reese abruptly pulls himself up from the table and leaves. Damn it. I knew it. I knew this would be too much. Everyone, get out of my house. Please, just leave us alone. Stop trying to interfere with his life. All it does is hurt him more. But we can't just leave him like this. Now's when he needs friends the most. No, now is when he needs me the most. I am his doctor and his mother. I know you really care about him. I know that, and he knows it too. But all any of you would do is get in the way. So just leave, please. Yeah, he seemed fine before dinner. It always comes in waves, and I can assure you that right now he's very much not fine. Now leave. We'll be back, Reese. I hope you feel better soon. Dr. Kelly shuts the door in your faces. The click of a lock signals the end of your dinner at Reese's. Did either of you get the impression that Dr. Kelly is afraid of Reese? She never turned her back towards him. Are you sure she wasn't just being overprotective? I'm sure that's all that's going on, and she has every right to be. I mean, the poor guy took 2 bites of food and got sick immediately. I can't imagine what that's like for both of them to go through. Yeah, but if she was being overprotective, she'd have sat between us and him. She had her back to the window. That's interesting. If anyone should be afraid of anyone in that house, Reese should be afraid of his mom. I think you're both reading into things too much. Dr. Kelly's good people. Look, I'm just saying there's more to their dynamic than just him being sick, but it's not like there's much we can do about it right now. We could probably go back and forth on this for a while. Let's just get going. The sun's setting and we don't want to miss a second of ghost action. Stella hurries off down the hill, almost as if to run away from what just happened. You and Kanika follow her down the slowly darkening street. Is Wayne here now? I think so. Oh, he's here. Spotted him right away. Lit by the orange hues of the setting sun, the library feels different. What was once a quaint building in a small town now stands as an imposing structure, its walls holding something that stares back at you with menace. Maybe Kanika's right. Maybe ghosts aren't real, and the rest of tonight is going to be a pleasant break from the events of the past few days. You can't help but feel like you're about to walk into a slasher movie. You run through a mental list of everyone who's joining you, trying to figure out if you'd make it to the end. Who are you kidding? The hot one's usually the first to go. If anyone has final girl energy, it's Stella or Kanika. Alright, I'm going to save it and sign off here. My voice is kind of done. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I'll try to get back to this in a day or two. This I think the dinner part is good, but there's a couple of parts of the game that kind of don't have a lot of variation. The dinner at Reese's, the sort of first part of the exploration of Reese's on the next day, those are both sections that I think could use a little bit more kind of broadening for replay value, but those sections are few and far between. The this part that we're about to go to is probably my favorite. Maybe not my favorite. It's like up there. On my first run, I didn't love it because I didn't quite get what was happening. But there's a lot of things in the game like that where you have to kind of. It's not intended to be a game where you just get everything on the first run. People are like, "Oh, I'm just not gonna replay until I've beaten the whole game," and it's like, well, sure, but like, you're trying to see the story from all sides, which is how it's meant to be told. Remember to load a gun. That's what Link would do. I think shooting like ghosts are immune to guns. So far, nobody's been killed or hurt except the dog. All right. Later, everyone.